Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips, all of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, March 31st to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. We have a reprieve from the madness of yesterday. 4 NHL games. I've moved on one. I'd like to move on 2 more, but I want to talk it out with Bobano in the chat. Then we have 5 MLB games. I've moved on 2 of them. Then a huge, monstrous 13-game NBA card, and Dutch Boy Fresh joining us to break down all 13 games right here. It was interesting yesterday. People were a little annoyed that we were talking about. We did the hockey card and the NBA card, but still had 45 minutes before the first 2 games started. Brizzy went 4-0 on his picks in that 2-game NBA slate. 4-0, had a +2 something money line on the Pelicans. He was excellent. So it's about doing due diligence. This is about making money. It's not about what's your favorite sport. And that showed out there. So shout out to Brizzy. Also, we have an enormous horse racing stream tomorrow, a giant horse racing stream, a Florida Derby, Arkansas Derby, and we'll be all day, all night action here. My family is giving me the gift of leaving the house so that I can focus on all day horse racing action. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Jay Smooth in the house. Justin Mackel, the Armchair MMA. They're Sky Dragon, ready to get to work. I can't wait to cap horses with you all day tomorrow. DG. Bananas and Grapes, Serious Business. Wine Time Sports. 3-0 start to the MLB season for Wine Time. I love that. Jay Peasy in the house. Need some Rabenga. We're going to get that for you. D. Jenkins coming off a 1-0 start to his MLB season. Rodney M., Jordy Nordman, J. Dub, Troy Torrance, Brian Watson, ready to get to work. Namaste J369, Andrew G. J. Dub, who I had the pleasure of hanging with in San Antonio. There's Dabra Kadabra, our guy Dabby Cab, started out 2-0-1. Beautiful Dabby Cab. Dabby Cab's going to be a constant guest here on the show. We're working out the schedule right now. And it's tricky. It's tricky because we have so many great MLB cappers, and I want to use them all. So we're trying to figure out how to do that. Of course, Bobano, C-Mac, and Dabra Kadabra. Of course, my producer, Jose Bouquet. But then you also have, the Big Ragu and Noli Nose and Hunter Engelhart. And so I'm trying to figure out how to make it all work because it's part of the fun is getting different takes and different styles, learning from different cappers. So I'm working on that, but know that Dabby Cab will be a big part of it. A coin ready to get to work. Also 3-0 off the hop. And then what's my guy Dan Kelly says, if you start pouring MLB every year, then why not take the first couple weeks off of MLB? You speak a lot of truth, Dan. I thought I was going to have a big day yesterday. White Sox first 5 money line pushed. The Diamondbacks plus 135. The first 5, they're up 2-0 into the third. I couldn't even make that the first 3. I thought there were some good looks, but you're right. This is another reason why you need the voice of reason from some of these from all of these cappers. But you know what? I have nothing to say. I got no comeback for you, man. All I can say is you have great wisdom, and I'm thankful to cap with you. Jeffrey Blue in the house. Andrew G.A.Yo.D. Slats 45 says Devin Levi making his first career start for the Sabres tonight. And look, he's a special goaltender, right? 6 feet tall, so nobody wants him. He was picked in the 7th round. Very difficult to be a 5'11" or 6 foot goaltender now. Scouts don't want you. He won the Mike Richter Award in his first year at Northeastern. His numbers were insane. He didn't follow it up. I mean, he had the second highest save percentage in 2021 in NCAA history. He's an interesting character. Rangers are in a tough spot, but the market shows that, and the market's moving towards the Rangers. I don't know. You can not respect a 7th round goaltender making his NHL debut at 21 years old all you want, but I don't know how anybody would want to bet the Rangers now after playing the Devils last night in a hard hockey game against the Buffalo Sabres team that's been off since Monday. But we'll talk all about that. RVD 420. Also, you hear how many guys, Dan, started out the year 3-0 in MLB. Maybe the show is for them. Maybe it's not for me. No, but it is. It is for me. Troy Torrance, Pelicans money line thing of beauty. There's Mike M in the house. Razor sharp picks. Razor's got a huge 36 hours, right? Is that right? No, I guess just 24 hours. He's got a huge 24 hours ahead of him. He starts tonight with the Lakers-Wolves game. We need to know LeBron and AD confirm their status. I should pull that up right now. But he's going to host that. He's going to have horses. Dabby Cap's going to be betting baseball. That's our big live stream tonight, and that pops off at 7:45 p.m. Eastern. And then I try not to get him too boozed up. See, I would get on the stream with you guys, but I have so much work to do on the horse card, and I can't touch any sauce if we're going to be knee deep in sauce tomorrow. Razor sharp picks. Galactic High, El Dorado Custodian, our guy. Saturated says Cubs in first place in the division, Cards in last. All is good in the world. There's Hunter Engelhardt, as I mentioned. I didn't even know he was in the chat, but we got to get him on the show. Big Show picks. Link says, do you trust the Sabres? I will obviously no, Link, because I haven't bet them. But I may bet them. We'll talk about it with Bobano. I may bet them. I tell you who I won't be betting is the New York Rangers under any circumstances. Public will be all over them. And maybe they take care of business. Maybe they put 6 goals on Devin Levi. I'm not going to be a part of that. But look, the teams I trust probably shouldn't be trusted. I'm on the Jets -1.5. But look at what Detroit had to do. That's a tough spot for Detroit. They play the Hurricanes at home, and then they got to fly up to Winnipeg after the game against a rested Winnipeg Jets team that's extremely angry because of those last 2 games out west. So Mike M says Jets under. Armchair lost a +900 probably with the under and the Phillies being the only losing leg. That happens. Well, it's great to see all of you guys. No, it doesn't. Big Show, it doesn't necessarily hide your comments. It just forces us to. So Big Show saying, guys, watch if you use any swear words in the comment, it will hide your comment. Got to be creative to swear in chats nowadays. We can show them, but it takes work and it takes energy. Dan Kelly says, I did get on the Guardians to not make the playoffs, getting +105 at DraftKings. Indians got lucky a lot last year, and it's unlikely that will happen again. There's Gifted Gartel in the house. So that's about as much as we need to do. Somehow I lost a little bit of VIG in NBA yesterday. Somehow. I think I'm the only person who lost a bet on the Pelicans. I don't know how I managed to do that. But the Pelicans +5.5, of course, cashed easily. But then, of course, I took the team total over. I don't know why I added that. To my action. But let's get to work. Bobano will be joining us here shortly. You can, Rem. You can. But I have to press the button. I have to press show. And then I show, and then we're good. So you can, but that wasn't going to show up in the chat. YouTube trying to clean us up. All right, let's get to work right now. We start in NHL. Let's bring on the line history here for this spot. 7 p.m. Eastern, New York Rangers 44, 21-10, 22, 9-6 on the road at the Buffalo Sabres 35, 31-7, 14, 20-4 at home. KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. Our guest on Fridays, our special guest, is ready to rock with us right now. So let's not wait one more second and let's welcome him to the show. Coming to us from Canada's steel town, Canada's black and yellow. It's a tough town, man. Where he's from, it's tough, man. Tough town. That downtown core, not safe. And thankfully, the comedy club is right there. And when you leave the comedy club, you don't usually get robbed, but you do get asked if you want, what's the right way to put it? Sexual pleasures for very cheap in an alleyway. And maybe when you go to that alleyway, then you get robbed. Let's welcome him now. Please welcome from Hamilton, Ontario, Ian Cameron to the show. Bobano, how are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I was on the phone with the doctor's office and I was on hold, so I said, "Fuck it, I'll call later." So we have a show to do. Sorry, Doc.
Yes. Thank you. That's yes. Let's get focused here. Money speaks.
Yep.
So hang up the phone. Bobano, a fascinating game here. A team that you love dearly in action and a great story. So let's get to work. Juan Ruiz, Nuclear says robbed or stabbed. I think robbed. These guys don't want to stab you. They don't want to be messy. They'll show you a knife, but they don't want to stab you. They'll stab you if they have to stab you, but they don't want to. They don't want to. Remos, Juan Ruiz, bananas and grapes, the big ragu. Mike M says Rangers in a 44-15 spot away, favorite over -110, line over 5. This trend suggests Rangers win, but given the Sabres are gassed and the Rangers are clicking, it's a Rangers beatdown. We'll see, Mike. We'll break it down right here. I tell you, one team I don't want anything to do with in this one is the Broadway Blue Shirts or Yaroslav Halak, their backup goaltender, who hasn't been bad. 10-8-3 this year, 2.68 goals against, average 905 save percentage, 1 shutout. Going up against, of course, Devin Levi, who we've spoken about. Let's take a look at this line history here in this one. The market's actually come back. They started moving in the Rangers' direction. Wow. I was like, wow, I think the public are going to keep betting the Rangers, but it's come back 3 cents. Open the Rangers -140. They're now -143. Go over to the totals here. We have it opening up at 6.5. It is now moved to a 7, but that 7's -132 to the under. Rangers are on the second half back. We talked about it. They had their 3-game winning streak snapped in 2-1 loss at the Devils last night. They're now 5 points behind Carolina and 4 points behind the Devils with 7 games to play. I do not expect them to keep trying here. I expect even Big Ragu's comment, even ass bleeds doesn't get shown, but I'll show. There is Ron Crawford. His play of the day is Houston -1 and -101. And as you know, we have the spreadsheet play of the day. We care about it very much, and we have it here in our show. And for the baseball season, we will be tracking it on a spreadsheet and average line, ROI, and everything. And I love Ron Crawford, and I have enormous respect for Ron Crawford. Frank White says over maybe, says they played. Oh, sorry, move over here. Sorry. Said they played on the 11th, total was 6.5. They scored 3. Now it's 6.5. Books could be implying some goals here. Razor Sharp Pick says Ian and Dave need a show together. Sweaters and collars, breaking the books. All right, so let's discuss this. Sorry about the couple things we had to talk about. Sabres coming off a 4-3 shootout loss at home to Montreal on Monday. Buffalo has first-line center Tage Thompson day-to-day with an upper body injury. They also have Samuelson, a very important, Matthias Samuelson, a very important young defenseman day-to-day. Granato said yesterday that what's his quote? Let me quote him instead of just doing this on my own. What was his quote? He said, I have it here, don't I? So he just said that Tage and Samuelson are possibilities. He said Tage, and you would think, they've been off since Monday. You would think that would be the case. And Tage has been an absolute monster, 25-year-old.
I think they're playing, honestly.
I think they're playing. I think the market implies they're playing. 44 goals, 89 points. But he has just 2 points over his last 6 games. This has been a nagging injury. And it's not an injury you can't play with. Like if this was the playoffs, he'd be in the lineup every night. But I think the break helps him very much. And of course, if he can't go, Casey Middlestad will center that top line between Tuck and Skinner. So let's talk about Devin Levi. We talked a little bit off the top. That first year I was talking about when he won the Mike Richter Award, 21-22. he was 21-10-1. So he wasn't on this dominant hockey team. 21-10-1 with 10 shutouts, 1.54 goals against average, and the second best save percentage in NCAA history. Then the second year, he went 17-12-5, 2.24 goals against average, 933 save percentage, and 6 shutouts. He was nominated for the Richter Award again. He's a 7th-round pick by the Panthers in 2020 because he's 6 feet tall. If he was 6'4" or taller, 6'5", 6'8", he would have been a first-round draft pick. There's heightism in the NHL with goaltenders, and it's been that way since Darren Pang was allowing 6 goals a game. Here we go, Bobano. Game 1. Take it away, Rangers, Sabres.
Yeah, but I think we can all agree Devin Levi's got a little bit more talent and upside than Darren Pang ever did. With all due respect to Darren Pang, who's a great guy, wonderful human being, salt of the earth, hilarious, always in a good... Is that guy ever angry or in a bad mood, Darren Pang? Seriously. Yeah. He's always in a great mood. He's a jovial guy. He's a great guy. Does a great job on television. But from a skills perspective, let's be honest, Devin Levi's got more goalie skills than Pang ever did. So that's the way it is. But as far as this game, look, the latest I've got just from the Sabres morning skate, which wrapped up about 15 minutes ago, is that Tage did not skate this morning, but Matthias Samuelsson did. So it probably means Samuelsson's going to be playing tonight. Tage, we're not so sure, although Granato said this morning, game time decisions for both of them, and there's a chance still for Tage for this game tonight. So even though he didn't skate this morning, Samuelsson did. But there's still a chance for Tage. But either way, it's a Sabre spot to me. Because you look at this game, the Rangers are 3rd in the Atlantic. They're 98 points. That loss to New Jersey puts them now not only 4 points behind New Jersey, but I'm pretty sure now they've lost the season series to the Devils as well. And which means that if they're tied in points at the end of the season, New Jersey gets the spot. So they're almost...
I thought it was just wins in regulation. That's only the first thing that mattered was wins in regulation.
It actually is. It could be. And then it goes to the series series. Yeah, it does. So that's the second tiebreaker. But either way, they're going to have a difficult time catching New Jersey. They're probably not catching Carroll. They're probably locked into 3rd. I'm not going to say they're going to slough off the rest of the season, but you're seeing signs of, the late season malaise creeping into the Rangers game, just like you're seeing it with Boston right now. And you're going to continue to see it with Boston. There's going to be money to be made betting against the Bruins, by the way, the rest of the regular season. There's no question about that. They've been, lackluster the last 2 nights. They've now clinched the President's Trophy. And I think that could translate over to the Rangers as well. I don't think the Rangers are a team I'm looking to back a lot here down the stretch. I mean, they're probably not going up, and nobody can catch them from behind. Like the first and the second wild card are not going to catch the Rangers. There's no chance. So it's almost like they're locked into their spot where they're going to play the Devils, and the Devils are going to have home ice. So motivating yourself to bring your best when the games, there's not really a lot tangible on the line, is difficult. And for Buffalo, look, I know they lost to Montreal the other night, but they did have 2 back-to-back wins against the Devils and the Islanders over the weekend. They haven't given up yet. I think it's highly unlikely they're going to make the playoffs, especially they didn't get any help last night. Florida won, Pittsburgh won, about as bad as you could ask for the Sabres and for the Sens. They didn't get the help they needed. But there's still mathematical hope. They've got Devin Levi in net. I think the team is going to rally around that. They all seem excited that this kid's making his debut. I know he's excited. We know the talent level in college. And remember, there's not a lot of pro hockey level game tape. There's none on him. And sometimes these kids that just got called up, even guys that don't have the pedigree of a Levi, sometimes they come up the first start and they shock. And look what Ferguson did for Ottawa. Look at how Joe Wall has played, for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, there's so many examples of this where, maybe eventually they get exposed a little bit, but at the very beginning, they look solid. Hofer just now for the St. Louis Blues. Look what he did for them. It took a couple of starts for him to finally have a bad game. I think we could see that for Levi. I think maybe the first game or two, he's on top of it. He has a 38 save performance and gives up 1 goal tonight. I think that's very plausible. Now, he could give up 4 or 5 because the Rangers are a very potent team, but I don't think the motivation's there quite as much as it maybe was a couple weeks ago. Buffalo is still playing hard every night. They don't always play well, but they do play hard, the Buffalo Sabres. You look at these recent games, 5-4 to New Jersey. They won 2-0 against the Islanders. The 4-3 shootout loss, they played relatively well in that game, but just the shootout didn't go their way. They've had some ugly games too, of course, before that, Nashville and Boston in particular. But I think this is a game you get Buffalo really playing hard. And I just think this game, the 2 points that are on this table are probably a little more meaningful to the home team. So I do like Buffalo here, and I will take them as a home dog for an official play.
I'm going to take them too. I just thought, and what do you think? Give me your line estimation, because when it started moving to minus 146, I was like, man, there's going to be a lot of people just looking at this line thinking it's crazy, betting the Rangers because of how bad the Sabres have been of late. And so that's the reason why I waited, or I would have bet it. Do you expect, and now there's been a 3-cent move back to the Sabres.
Yeah, plus 125 is the best we can get right now at Bet365.
What's your guess? What is your guess come puck drop on the line for the Buffalo Sabres?
There's going to be, I think, a lot of people that are on top of hockey, follow it daily, kind of know the nuances of an 82-game season. They're going to be thinking the way we're thinking, that this is not exactly a Rangers spot with Halak and net back-to-back, huge rivalry game with New Jersey. That was like their last shot last night against the Devils to try to catch that team. They end up losing, and now you have to come back and play Buffalo, who, by the way, you already beat just recently, but it was a close game. It was 2-1 Rangers in Buffalo in overtime. So I think when you look, by the way, I'll also have the draw in this game, a little sprinkle on the draw. That won't be an official play, but I will have the draw. The draws have been good. I think there hasn't been a night this week in the NHL where I haven't cashed at least one draw bet. And you know that all you need to do is cash 1 or 2 of those a night, and boy, does it boost that bankroll. So a little sprinkle on the draw as well. I think, by the way, the line is going to not fluctuate too much. This is not going to soar to minus 150 or 60 on the Rangers. There's going to be enough Buffalo sentiment that we're not going to see it move that much.
I love that we're on the same page here. I can understand there's going to be a lot of people on the opposite page. And, when Mike M's trends and edge, give him a real edge in this business. And I believe in his trends. But at this time of the year, with 5 or 6 games left, I don't know if
certain trends don't account for certain situations. Yeah. I agree. Like this is a situation that screams Buffalo. No trend's going to point that out.
And Namaste Jay says over under 6.5. There's too much volatility in this game. Is Levi going to allow 2 goals and have the greatest night of his entire life? The night he's dreamt of. Did you watch any of the interviews of him? Because I watched a couple of them. He's like beaming, excited, and everybody feels it.
Yeah,
like
everybody feels it, and he looks like a spitting image of Carey Price. If he plays anything like Carey Price, they got something.
So the question now, Namaste Jay, is for me.
Yeah.
What am I comfortable losing money on here? And it's not the total. It's saying that the Rangers don't care. They're tired from last night. They don't want to be playing in Buffalo tonight. And these Sabres have been off since Monday, and they care. And you're going to give me a plus line. That's what I'm comfortable for. Slati says Levi from his hometown. Let's go Sabres money line plus 1.
The situationals make sense. And if it tonight, look, this is not the 95 Devils in front of Devin Levi. Let's make that perfectly clear. This is a blue line that coughs up the puck a ton, that makes mistakes in their own end, that can get hemmed in their own end. There's going to be shifts tonight, even with the disinterested Rangers team, just because of the sheer offensive talent and skill they have, where they're going to have the Sabres hemmed in, and they're going to have a shift where they pile up 5 or 6 shots on goal. So Levi's going to have to be good, but he's got the capability of it. He's got the clear confidence to be that way. He's got the fact that the Rangers don't exactly have a great idea of his tendencies and his, and his strengths and his weaknesses just yet. So, and again, the players are going to want to rally around him. You think Jeff Skinner, and Alex Tuck, especially some of the leadership group on the team, they want to play shit tonight and embarrass this kid in his NHL debut? Of course not. So you should have all hands on deck. You should see everybody pulling on the rope tonight here if you're the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, I'm right with you. A fun game to get this started. I'm right there with you. And so, but I want you guys just to know, we talk about the nuances of capping hockey. For me, all my life, if I see a 7th round pick who's 6'6", making his NHL debut, I want to fade him. No. If I see a 7th round pick that's 6 feet taller, smaller, and I'm not even sure if he is actually 6 feet. That's what's listed. I bet you he's like 5'11", 5'11.5. And I think, God, nobody wanted to scout this kid. Nobody. And here he is. So that's just some of the nuances. Fat Wally giving us his NASCAR looks this week.
Yeah, I've suffered a lot of pain backing Buffalo in good spots this year at times, but it's been a while. I haven't bet Buffalo in a very long time. I think it's been at least a few weeks, but this is the time to do it for me.
I'm willing to. NASCAR outrights, Richmond here, outrights for Larson plus 650, Hamlin plus 900, Blaney plus 1800, and a top 5 finish for Cindric at plus 850. I love it. Wally, thank you for sharing that with us. And please give our best to your nephew, Chaz, who caps NASCAR heavy, does it live and does it on YouTube. So please tell him that we give him a big shout out. And if you want to drop Chaz's show here, Wally, in the chat, we'd love to highlight it and talk about it and give it love. All right, let's roll on. Next up for us, 8 p.m. Eastern. And this one, you talk about backing teams and losing money and going back to the well. And here I am again. I'm on the Jets puck line, -1.5 at plus 110. Red Wings, Jets. Let's take a look at the situation here market-wise. We have, move over here, we go. The Jets open up at -244. It's hard to believe that they'd be this big of a favorite. I get it. I don't think the market's going to move in their direction. Bet365 had this at -260. For whatever reason, it's not showing up in my the website I use for line movement. But I could look it up here. Actually, I have it right here. What am I talking about? I have it live right here. So right now, it's moved to -250. It's moved to -250, but the puck lines dropped to plus 105. And I got a plus 110. So that makes me feel okay. This total opened up at 6, a -112 to the over. It's been a 5-cent move to the under. Canada Life Center, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Once a very, very difficult place to play. Once a place where I thought the Jets had tons of value. This year, they're 22-12-2. They're not as dominant there, but they're still good there. We have Magnus Hellberg and Connor Hellebuck. Again, I may have these goalies may change, so just let me know if I'm wrong here. But Hellberg, 5.71, 2.97 goals against average, 8.98 save percentage. Hellebuck, 32-24-2, 2.60 goals against average, 9.17 save percentage. Red Wings are on the second half of a back-to-back after winning their second straight game last night, 3-2 at home over Carolina. The Jets coming off their second straight loss, 3-2 at San Jose on Tuesday. The Flames are now 2 points back of them. The Predators are somehow 3 points back of them with a game in hand. Now the Jets hold the tiebreaker with both teams. And I just think this is a horrific spot for Detroit to beat a team that was favored at times to win the Stanley Cup at home last night and then have to hop on a plane to Canada, go through border security. I know it's not that bad for them. And then play a game against the Winnipeg Jets in the cold, in the frigid cold up in Winnipeg. So I'm moving on the Jets puck line plus 110. Bobano, take it away.
Yeah, this is tough. I actually lean the other way with Detroit. I can't endorse Winnipeg. I can't. This is a team that has got a going off the side of the cliff feel to it, just like last year. And I don't know if tonight's going to be the night they get it back. This is not a team I want, period. I mean, they are in a rough state. I think there's friction now with Bonus and some of this is now multiple times Bonus has called out the players. He did it after the LA game, and that was the effort they gave against San Jose the other night. The top players can't find him with a telescope right now. Any of them. Pierre-Luc Dubois, can't find him. Scheifele, can't find him. Kyle Connor, 1 goal in 12 games. Unacceptable. I mean, none of these guys are pulling the rope right now. This has a look of a team that's going to collapse. I'm not laying minus 250. Simple as that. And Detroit, on the other hand, the only thing that's keeping me off Detroit is the spot. It's a tough one. It is. There's no question. They beat Carolina last night at home. They're back now in Winnipeg tonight for a back-to-back spot. Tough spot here tonight for them. I think it'll be Hellberg and net probably for the Red Wings because we saw Nedeljkovic last night. But we've seen Winnipeg lose at home to bad teams too, or teams that are out of the playoffs. So the Jets are they're not backable, unfortunately for me. I wish you well, but maybe the draw for me. I'll sprinkle a couple bucks on, but yeah, I can't do it with Winnipeg. This has the look of a team on the ice that looks flat. They look lethargic. They look uninspired. They look passionless. a coach that's called them out twice with zero response. No, this is a bad-looking hockey team, and I don't trust them right now.
And you have every right to not trust them. But seeing everybody in the chat saying investing in the Jets is a losing proposition, don't donate your money betting that organization. Jets have issues. Jets
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, I got to see evidence of something better. You bet this game live. I mean, if you want to, if you have any interest in Winnipeg, watch this game live. See if they're physical. See if they're hitting everything in sight. See if they're going to the front of the net. See if they're hounding the puck. See if they're forcing turnovers. See if they care. Because I'll be honest, the last 2 games, I'm questioning their level of care. Honestly.
And what happens though? You get a couple of days off, and you get to come home in front of a sold-out arena. Look, I'm you guys. I get it.
I don't think Dubois wants to be there. I think he's tuned out because he wants to go to Montreal. Let's be honest. The rumors are all out there. He wants to be with the Montreal Canadiens. I don't think he gives 2 shits about staying with the Jets long term. So that's a problem. That's hanging over there. Scheifele's one of those guys that I can't count on him in a big spot. Takes bad penalties. That's about the only thing he's done lately. And Kyle Connor, I mean, he's a good player, but man, what a bad time for your offense to dry up and go away. So it's bad.
No, I love this opportunity to be alone on an island and get paid. So when you guys look and it's 5-2 Jets, when you look at the score, just think of the bag.
Think of Jimmy. Yeah.
Let's move on. 10 p.m. Eastern. Calgary
Give him his
Flames.
roses if it's like 5-1 Winnipeg tonight. Yeah.
Calgary Flames 34-26-15, 16-11-11 on the road at the Vancouver Canucks 34-34-6, 17-18-1 at home. Rogers Arena in Vancouver, British Columbia. Markstrom, God, it's nice seeing his numbers and looking at his contract and thinking of the Calgary fans having to watch him in net for the next 5 years of that number. Feels. I could just sit here and smile. That's how good it makes me feel. Thatcher Demko, 11-13-3, 3.32 goals against average, 895 Sabres. Now, you don't want a goaltender who's had 2 hip replacements. So, look, we're not in a great place ourselves. Let's take a look at the line history here. This was a game I really wanted to talk out. There have been spots where the Flames have been on the road and they've been favored, like in Vegas. When you looked at the records and you're like, how could they be favored? And, Dennis Garcia would say even the market understands, how much skill that this Flames team has and how good they should be, that they're the favorite against the Golden Knights, who are first in the division, about to be 100 points. And the Flames win 7-2.
I find it funny that Calgary closed -115, -120 at Vegas in that game. That was the game they won 7-2, and it was a good Calgary spot because Vegas has been bad at home off a long road trip all season long. I find it that they were -115 to -120 in that game, and they opened just a little above that in this game against Vancouver, and -125 is actually where this opened, and it's been bet up a little, but not the big gap you would think between Vegas and Vancouver based on the line.
Yeah, you're right. And this got up to -136. It's right now at -133. Let's take a look at the total here. Opening up at 6.5, -112 to the over. There's been a 3-cent move to the over, 6.5. Flames coming off their second straight win, 2-1 at home over the Kings on Tuesday. Well, we've been waiting for so long for the Flames to put a run together. Expecting it, waiting for it. How many games are left in the year? 6? 7? The Canucks had their 3-game winning streak snapped in a 6-5 overtime loss to the Blues, but there's something about Rogers Arena. It's sold out, and the Flames come to town, and there's a big rivalry, and there's something special. Here. The Sky Dragon says Calgary, Vancouver twice in the next week. Vancouver can end Calgary's season. They want to so badly. DC Capper, great to see you, my man. So this game is absolutely fascinating, and I have a prediction of your action in this game, but let me hear you rock. Take it away, Flames Canucks.
So here's Calgary off a 2-game win streak. We always think, and I've fallen victim to this before with this team, that when they've, for all the inconsistency and the up and down roller coaster ride of the season for the Calgary Flames, I've been thinking this before when they've won 2 in a row, that, okay, now they're going to get hot. Now they're going to get on a roll. Now they're starting to look like they're going to play their best hockey. Do you know the last time they won 3 in a row was? Early December. That's how long ago it was. The last time the Calgary Flames, the Calgary Sternums, as I like to call them, that's what they are, the Calgary Sternums. I call them the Calgary Sternums because the sternum is the only place they like to shoot the puck on the opposing goalie, right into the chest, right into the crest. No creativity, no finish, no ability to just, have that high level of skill and that high degree of, finishing abilities. The soccer term, clinical. They're not clinical enough as a team, offensively to finish these chances. That's why I call them that. But they haven't won 3 in a row since early December. And they've only won 3 in a row twice this year. The very beginning of the year, the first 3 games of the year they won. And then that 3-game win streak in early December. And since then, they have not won 3 games in a row, this team. And obviously, they're looking to win 3 in a row tonight. That's how much the inconsistency has been there for this team. So since that December 3-game win streak, the Calgary Flames beat San Jose back-to-back. Then they lost to L.A. They beat Seattle and Vancouver back-to-back, then they lost to Winnipeg. They beat St. Louis and Dallas back-to-back, then they lost to Nashville. They beat Tampa, Columbus back-to-back. They lost to Chicago. I remember that game at home, 5-1. It was horrendous. They were totally asleep in that game. They were awful. And then was that it? No, there was another one. They beat Dallas and Minnesota on the road. Back-to-back wins, Calgary. They come back home. They have a dud against Anaheim, and they lose 3-1. I mean, that is the track record of them off 2 straight wins. And Vancouver, if there's one thing that's going to be kind of appealing to them, it would be adding to the chance of maybe Calgary not making the playoffs. I mean, I think they'd relish the chance at playing spoiler tonight. The one thing that's keeping me off Vancouver is because they're playing better, 7-3 in their last 10. They're doing their typical late season surge when they change the coach. They've done this repeatedly. They did this with Boudreau after Green got canned. And now they're doing it with Tocchet after Boudreau gets let go. But no, you are seeing strides from Vancouver. You're seeing effort. You're seeing compete. You're seeing defensive awareness. You're seeing the penalty kill improve finally. Tocchet's done a nice job with the PK. This PK couldn't stop anything early in the season. It was embarrassing, the penalty kill, how bad it was. But they've improved in that department quite a bit under Rick Tocchet. Quinn Hughes, I think, is playing some of his best hockey, not only this season, but I've ever seen from him as a member of the Vancouver Canucks. Pedersen's been great under Tocchet. Miller has been great under Tocchet. They're getting some. Kuzmenko's been just absolutely phenomenal. They've got all of a sudden, it's not delivery. It's Di Giuseppe who's all of a sudden stepping up for the Vancouver Canucks up front, giving them a little offensive punch. I mean, Tocchet has brought a lot of nice things here with this Vancouver team. The only thing that worries me is they're off a road trip, home for the first game. It's always usually a negative spot and a bet against spot, but there's no freaking way I'm laying a price with Calgary on the road. What I might look at here is what I've done a lot, and I've mentioned this on my hockey show, Jimmy, when I like a dog a little bit and I think the game's going to be close, and I think that's the case here, I do a split with the dog and the draw, and that's exactly what I'm going to be looking to do here. Dog and draw split with the Canucks and the draw. A little on the Canucks, plus 120 at Pinnacle, and the draw, which we can get at, again, a great price here in this game with the draw. It's plus 340 at Pinnacle, but I'm going to check out FanDuel because I've noticed, Jimmy, with the draw, the FanDuel gives you the best price, it seems, with these draw bets, which have just been so good for me lately. Plus 360 on the draw at FanDuel. So that's what I'm going to do here, and I'll make those official plays. Vancouver, plus 120, draw plus 360.
Interesting. I was wrong about what I thought you were going to bet. Why are you not? And I think I know why I didn't pull the trigger on it. Just because if this game means everything to the Flames, and we expect a Daryl Sutter coach team to be tight and lock in, why are you not on the over?
Yeah, I mean that's because I don't trust Calgary to score enough half the time. Like even in the LA game, they had chances and chances and chances to put the Kings away, and still only 2 goals. They're a tough team to bet from a total standpoint. Vancouver, we know, had been this massive over. Like I was just betting Vancouver over every single game. And look, it's been an over series history, well, until the last meeting between these two teams. But this is just, we'll have to see who's in net. I think it'll be Demko, you would think, for Vancouver, although it hasn't been confirmed yet, and Markstrom for Calgary. Calgary, I think, is trying to play tighter, and they've gone under in 3 of their last 4 games. I think they're trying to play that playoff style because they know that's the way they have to win right now. Because, again, they're the master of piling up 40 shots on goal and only scoring once. They've done this 20, 30 times this season. So I'm not in love with the over here in this game, honestly.
Okay, I've got more. I've got to sit with this game longer. I have. If I'm capping horses like for our show
It
tomorrow,
sounds like you like the over here.
yeah, but I don't. It's the see. Sky Dragon says Calgary's fine playing 2-1. That's the problem.
Yeah,
That's the Calgary's the problem.
totally content. Yeah.
Okay, Bobano's locked in. We have one more game in NHL, and then the 5-game.
Daryl
MLB
Sutter had this
fight.
big shit-eating grin on his face after that LA win. He loved it. That's Daryl Sutter loved that stuff.
Yeah,
2-1 win over the Kings. Yeah.
It's also the team that he beat.
Yeah, that too. That was probably part of it, beating his old team.
When you win a cup with a team, it's nice to come back and beat them.
Yeah.
You win 2 cups. 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Next up, final game on the NHL board. Dallas Stars 40-20-14, 22-10-5 on the road at the Coyotes 27-35-13, 20-12-4 at home at Mullet Arena, Tempe, Arizona. Back to the Coyotes at home. So the Coyotes have lost 5 straight. But look at these losses. These are tight losses. Only ones by more than 1 goal. They come off a 5-4 loss at home to Edmonton on Monday. The Stars come in off their second win in 3 games. 4-1 at the Blackhawks on Tuesday. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one, and baseball is calling our name after this. The Coyotes have a ton of value at home. They've made us a lot of money on them. They probably, I have to look, but I bet you it's the best angle I've had this year. They opened up at plus 202. They're now at plus 203. This total opens up at 6 plus 102 to the over. It's now minus 102 to the other over. So it's a slight move. Actually, let me look at that. Sorry, slight move to the over. So it's all about the Stars. What are the Stars going to give you on a nightly basis? They're an enigma. They're coming off their second win in 3 games, 4-1 at the Blackhawks on Tuesday. Right now, they are 3 points out of first. They're tied with the Avs. They have a game in hand on the Wild. And this game means a ton for home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs, which is crucial. But I still want the Coyotes. I'm not entirely sure how to handle this. Take it away here for us, Bobano, our last game before we get into MLB, Stars Coyotes.
Yeah, this is it. This is another one. A dog and draw split. Arizona in the draw for me in this game. I mean, this team's playing well at home. They really are. I mean, they lost to Edmonton 5-4. They could have easily won that game. They lost in a shootout at home to Colorado. These are damn good hockey teams. These are teams that could win the West. Hell, these are teams that could win the Stanley Cup. Edmonton and Colorado that they're losing to here on home ice. They only lost 3-1 in Colorado before that on Friday. They beat Edmonton in overtime, or they lost to Edmonton in overtime 4-3. They lost 2-1 to Winnipeg in a tough spot for them. And then, of course, they had the home win streak before that. So 2 of those, by the way, were overtime wins. So I think Arizona could win this game, but I definitely think the draw is live. Dallas has played a lot of close games. Dallas has been, I think, of all the teams in the NHL, I don't think there's very many that have played more overtime games than the Dallas Stars this year. They've played a ton of overtime games, this squad. And keep in mind, they play at Colorado tomorrow night, Jimmy, against the Avs. I don't think we're going to see Ottinger tonight. I have a feeling we're probably going to end up seeing Scott Wedgwood in between the pipes here for the Dallas Stars in this game, with them being in Colorado tomorrow night on a back-to-back. So that's definitely advantage for – actually, it won't be Wedgwood. He's still out. It'll be Matthew Murray. Don't confuse him with Matt Murray. Matthew Murray would get the start for the Dallas Stars. And he's lost his last 2 starts both against Vancouver. Gave up 5 goals in one and 3 goals in the other. So Matthew Murray is likely going to be the starter tonight. So I think it's a very live Arizona team. That's the way I'm going to go about it. In this game, we're going to go Arizona money line at, let me just see here, the best price with that for this game. Arizona money line plus 205 at Bet365, plus 205 at Bet365 with that. And then the draw, we can get the draw best price plus 390 at FanDuel for the draw. What a price that is. When you can get almost plus 400 on the draw, that's an excellent, excellent price. So that's what we're going to do here. Arizona plus 205, draw plus 390. One of those hits, we're in profit. If both hit, and let's keep in mind, 2 of Arizona's recent home wins were overtime wins or shootout wins. You can hit a plus 205 and a plus 390 in the same game. That's a distinct possibility here. Love those 2 bets, Arizona plus 205 and the draw plus 390.
Yeah, I love what you're thinking. I think that if Ottinger is not in tonight, that you would want to bet that as soon as possible. And maybe I need to bet that during the show. I love it. All right, let's review NHL before we get into MLB. That was the 4-game slate. Bobano is on the Sabres, and I will be joining him. Then I'm on the Jets minus 1.5 at plus 110 all alone. Bobano's on the Canucks at plus 120 and the draw at plus 360. And I'm very interested in the Coyotes as well. And I want to study Coyotes' first periods a little more here. I don't want to double up, though. Bobano's on the Coyotes plus 205 and the draw plus 390. That's a great looking card. It was very fun to cap. All right, we move on to ML.
Well, actually, you know what, Jimmy? I'm going to add one more play in that same game. I'm going to go because I see a 5.5 at minus 130 at the score bet right now. I'm going to add Dallas, Arizona over 5.5 minus 130. Again, this is my belief. We're going to see Matthew Murray in net for the Stars tonight. So I'm going to add that over, especially at 5.5. I'm because Arizona's been in some track meets here these last 2 home games.
I love it. You're locked in. All right, let's get into MLB, and here we go. A couple things we're going to start with. First off, actually, you know what? I'll wait for that. I'll wait for dropping that for when the game is on. I'll wait for that. So let me just cut that here and bring that over here. And perfect. Okay, beautiful. But we are going to start off by bringing on the star of Say Hey Plays with his play of the day, because it's the first game that Bobano and I are going to break down. So without further ado, please welcome to the show young Jose Sweet Tea Tits Bouquet with his play of the day. Jose, take it away.
Howdy, gentlemen. How's it going? Yeah, we'll start off. It's a great day. By the way, went 1-5 yesterday, so it has to be better than yesterday. But yeah, we'll start off with Mets Marlins. I have Sandy Alcantara, I'm just realizing on there, but it's Jesus Luzardo versus my man David Peterson. David Peterson taking the spot start for ye old Justin Verlander, who's on the IL with I didn't even know what fucking muscle it was that he pulled or whatever. So yeah, I don't trust David Peterson at the end of the day, and I believe in baby Jesus. Shout out to Jesus Luzardo. He pitched well for Venezuela during the WBC. I know his start was against Israel, obviously, and they were just getting wrecked on by everyone there. But I have faith that he can be a good pitcher. I've liked him for a little bit here, and you know now he gets a full season under the Marlins there. No worries about having to fight for his spot. I think he'll be one of the better pitchers in this rotation. So I took Marlins first 5 money line here. I think they'll obviously hit better than yesterday because they won't be dealing with fucking Max Scherzer as well. So I'm taking the Marlins first 5 here. That was the Say Hey Minute play of the day. Shout out to the Say Hey Minute, which, like I told you guys yesterday, it'll be out the night before. So last night it got posted. Today it's for today's game, and it'll be on Marlins Mets. So go watch it. And there we go. It is Jesus Luzardo starting.
I love it. Marlins first 5. We can get that for you. The cheapest I can find is a minus 107 at 5 dimes. So we'll lock in Jose first 5 minus 107. He is locked in. Let's see what Bobano and I are doing. I've moved on this game as well. Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. David Peterson, 7-5, 3.83 ERA last year, 1.33 WHIP, 126 Ks and 105 2/3. I thought he was quite good. I can understand Jose's angle here because I also believe in Jesus Luzardo. We know how in 2021 we thought he was going to be the future ace of the Oakland Athletics, and he was unbelievably bad. 2-4, 6.87 ERA, 1.63 WHIP. He was shipped to the Marlins, and he was even slightly worse over in Miami. Then last year, he looked like the pitcher we expected him to be, and I don't understand why, if the Athletics were tanking, why they wouldn't just wait. 4-7, 3.32 ERA, 1.04 WHIP, 120 Ks, 100 in the third, 35 walks. Last year, he was very good. The Mets sort of their kryptonite last year was lefties. 246, 716 OPS. We saw them rake against righties, and I don't think things will be that much different this year. Miami was the worst team in the league against lefties. I mean, they had dead ball numbers, 208, 598 OPS, and we can expect their ability against lefties to improve with a rise at the, as the head of the snake. Shogun Soup has the first 5 under 4. So do I. I have the first 5 under 4 at minus 115. Let's take a look at, and I could get talked into Jose's action. I certainly,
it didn't help you yesterday.
I like the look, and we had a few chances to get that third run in, and I'm okay with how that kind of banged out. Let's talk about the line history here for this spot. We have, and this is full game line history. Quickly, Pinnacle opened up the Mets at minus 111. They're now at minus 108. So there's been a slight move to the Marlins, a move that I probably agree with. Total wise, it's opened up at 7.5, minus 114. This got up to 8 for a while. Which surprised me. So it moved to 8 an hour and 3 minutes ago. It stayed at 8 for how long? Sorry, it stayed at 8 for 27 minutes. And then it's come back to 7.5. I wish I had seen it at 8. Let's just take a quick look at the cash flow here for this one. We have money line, 66% of the tickets on the Mets and 60% of the cash. So it's 34 and 40 on the Marlins. I like that. From a total perspective, there's 48% of tickets. It just went down. 47% of tickets, but 92% of cash on the under. Then why did it go up to 8? That concerns me. That concerns me quite a bit. And who of these two pitchers would be vulnerable? You could make a case for both of them. But the fact that it would go up to 8 for a little bit and then the books would get even more money in on the under, at least they brought it back to 7.5. If it was sitting at 8 right now, I'd be extremely concerned. But I am concerned. And who's the most vulnerable? Let's hear what Bobano has to say. Take it away, Mets Marlins.
Yeah, this one is Luzardo's been frustrating for me over the years. I mean, he's been someone that has just not been showing that. Now, he showed it in glimpses last year, but for a full season, we haven't always seen it from Luzardo. Peterson's one of those guys where been up and down, but he's got a good track record. Like he definitely had one of his best seasons last year. There's no doubt. 3.83 ERA last year was pretty good. Against the Marlins, actually, he's pitched very well. 2.74 ERA in his career. Against this Miami Marlins team. We'll see if he can keep that going here. The problem with backing the Marlins in any form is this offense sucks. It's really not that great. It's going to be an issue, I think, for them. Even with Luis Arraez, who I like that addition from the Minnesota Twins in the offseason, but definitely not a lineup I'm enamored with. The bullpen, I think, still has some holes in it. The Mets bullpen, we thought, Edwin Diaz obviously down for the count. How would that shake out? How would that impact their bullpen? Would it impact their bullpen negatively? And we actually saw their relievers doing a really nice job. Just shut down the Marlins yesterday. It was a really nice job. I mean, they came in there. They got the job done. Drew Smith, Brooks Raley, David Robertson got the save for them. I mean, that looked like a pretty good bullpen performance from the Mets. I mean, it's just such a difference between these two teams that, I don't even think you're getting great value here on Luzardo right now at this price. So it's a pass for me.
A lot of great comments coming in from the chat as well. Great stuff coming in from the chat. I love the opportunity for us all to cap together. I think
the over is a big theme here with these two teams. I believe it's 7 straight overs actually between the Mets and the Marlins. Now again, you still got to handicap each matchup, each pitching matchup. You can't say 7 straight overs. We got to bet the over here necessarily, but that is something worth keeping in mind. 7 straight head-to-head meetings have gone over the total with these two teams.
I was on it yesterday, and the market is giving me interest in it today. I'm not going to take a first 5 under in a full game over. I can just live bet the over if I'm right and just hate myself if I'm wrong. There you have it. That's game 1, Mets Marlins. Jose's on the Marlins first 5 minus 107, and I'm on the
I
first.
want to watch Luzardo. If he looks great, we might look at backing him again down the road because I have him circled. Like he's got good stuff. It's just he hasn't been able to harness it. He gets up wild. He gets walk heavy. He leaves the pitches up in the zone. He can get crushed. He's given up a lot of extra base hits and home runs because he's just missed location. It's been a problem with him in his career, but he's got the stuff. He's got to harness it now, and let's see how he does tonight.
We have a question for you, Jose, from Equinimus. Says, is this the first Say Hey play in baseball? No, but is this the first show of Say Hey plays today?
Yeah, Say Hey plays is back today, officially official. Connor Mack joins me today at what used to be Net Profits time, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. So shout out to Net Profit. Had a great year this year. I am unfortunately commandeering your spot, Ian. Shout out to basketball as well, ending soon. But yeah, we're going to do that today. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Breaking down a small card, so be about 30, 45 minutes. I do have some plays circled in this card as well, so it'll be interesting. And as we always do, we learn every day capping. So hopefully today will be better than yesterday, and we'll continue putting it forward into the next.
Yeah, the 5 o'clock spot is Say Hey plays time now. Yeah, Net Profit's done. Yeah, so yeah, you take care of the 5 o'clock Eastern hour, Jose. It's in your hands now.
Thank you.
No, but I'll be on with him Tuesdays on this show.
Exactly. I take the responsibility on my shoulders, and we rock and roll. So I can't wait.
I love it. Thank you for dropping by, Jose, and for doing such a great job producing the show. And have a great show today at 5 p.m. Eastern, the opening day for Say Hey plays. All right, we move on to the next spot on the board in 8:10 p.m. Eastern. And Ron Crawford gets us started here. As I said, I will be tracking his action on a spreadsheet, his spreadsheet plays of the day. And today he's on Houston -1 at -101. Ron Crawford is on Houston -1 at -101. And shout out to Ron Crawford. All right, let's get to work with the line movement and the cash here. Let's get to work with the line movement and the cash. Let's go. First off, Astros open up at -150. They're now at -143. There's been a slight move towards the Chicago White Sox. From a total perspective, it opened up at 7.5, -111. There's been a 2-cent move to the over. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. Let's get to all markets. So I don't need to keep hitting this. Here we go. We have money line, 53% of the tickets and 74% of the cash is on the Houston Astros. I'm curious as to why the market then would be moving towards the White Sox, which is what it's doing. Total wise, 75% of the tickets and 94% of cash is on the under. Again, if that was the case, why is there a 2-cent move to the over? Why is it not moving towards the under? Which makes me think that the over is in play. White Sox Astros, Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. We have Lance Lynn going up against Christian Javier. Lance Lynn, if you want, they're not sweet tea tits like Jose. They're hideous, hideous tits. 8-7, 3.99 ERA, 1.14 whip, 121 2/3, 124 Ks, 19 walks. I like him. I think he's a good pitcher, a really good pitcher, bulldog. And I think it really hurt him and hurt the White Sox that he was injured to start the year last year and for a big chunk of the year. Javier, 11-9, 2.54 ERA, 0.95 whip last year, 148 2/3, 194 Ks, and 52 walks. Take it away here. And Rob Free says, ain't no way I'm taking the Astros. Says those 6-9 hitters are atrocious. Take it away for us here, Bobano. White Sox, Astros.
Yeah, this is definitely the Astros last night, not hitting, obviously, 3-2, although they did face Dylan Cease, obviously had a spectacular season last year. With all due respect to Lance Lynn, probably a little bit of a downgrade here. And Lance Lynn, remember, had injuries last year. He got off to a slow start. He got off to a really bad start. Then he got injured. And then when he came back, he struggled when he first came back. Then he started to finally get it together down the stretch last year. We'll see how this one plays out. But, I don't love the idea of after a loss last night going against Houston in this spot. You look at it on the flip side here with Javier. Javier is someone that, absolutely outstanding last year, 2.54 ERA. for Javier coming into this one. You know what? I think the way I'm going to play this one is, we did see the White Sox bullpen, and there was questions last night, right? Liam Hendricks obviously being out. Where would they turn to close out games? And they found a way last night to get the job done in that one. But I'm going to go with the Astros here, official play in the first 5. And I'm going to go with that -0.5 run look. And that's going to be something I'm going to I did a lot last year when we did baseball with the favorites, and I'm going to look to do that here. So we're going to go with a -0.5, plus 100 at Bet Victor for this play. At BetMGM actually has it as well, plus 100. -0.5, plus 100, even money with the Astros here in the first 5 innings. I think they get the lead early. I think this lineup, again, I get what someone in our chat said about the bottom of that lineup. There's some outs there. I don't think they're nearly as good in the bottom, quarter of that lineup maybe than they've been in the past. I mean, last night they had Jake Myers and Martin Maldonado and Mauricio Dubon down there. I mean, but they've got an incredible top 3 or 4. I mean, you could put Pena and Bregman and Yordan Alvarez, who I've got a piece of to win AL MVP this year. Jose Abreu, Kyle Tucker. That's pretty damn good in the first 4 or 5 in this lineup. And I'm going to go with the Astros here in terms of this first 5, -0.5, plus 100.
You got it locked in. Astros first 5, -0.5 at plus 100. Piker says little Rebenga for the Stros, who were embarrassed in front of Megan the Stallion yesterday. Yeah, and throwing out the first pitch. Ray Charles, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Says, can I get a play of the day bet for my birthday from Ray Charles? Can I get a play of the day for my birthday? Absolutely, you can. I already know what mine is. Ray, can you let us know how long you will be here? I guess we'll have to do it. Why don't we do it? Why don't we give a play from? We'll give you one from Bobano. I'll give you one from me, and we'll give you one also from Dutch Boy Fresh in this huge 13-game NBA card. And happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. All right, so let's take a look here. There's a lot of belief in the Astros. Also, LJ from H-Town, knows this team very well. He's on the Astros first 5 under. Namaste, Jay and Mike M both talking about this is a great no-run first inning spot. So Johnny Gunn says, why do I have a biased opinion that Lance Lynn takes a couple of games to get his Bulldog self going? Well, I
thought he was average in the World Baseball Classic. I didn't think he was spectacular in that event.
And we certainly saw that last year.
Yeah.
But he was coming off injury. It's a little different situation here. Piker says, okay, heavy lean for Houston first 5. And Jojo Rich is on the Stros first 5. D. Jenkins says, betting Houston off a loss will probably be profitable again this year. Okay. And
Billy, plus, we got a guy on the mound for the Astros that was spectacular last year. Javier was awesome. So that's why I like it. I like the price. I like the bet. I like the spot. And I don't have the most confidence in Lynn because, like I said, I thought his World Baseball Classic performance was average.
And nice to see TJ back in action. The star of the famed gift play of the day, the gift that was hitting at the ridiculously high winning percentage. All right, let's move on. 3 games left in MLB before we attack this giant 13-game NBA card with Dutch Boy Fresh. Jay Peasy, by the way, says, I like Ron's look. Astros lost their first home opener in the last 10 years. I bet they get it back today. And Piker says it's the best starter for the reigning champs have. They'll right the ship here. All right, let's move on. Next up for us, 9:40 p.m. Eastern, the Colorado Rockies at San Diego Padres, Petco Park in San Diego, California. That top 4 of the Rockies lineup doing exactly what they did last year to left-handed pitching, smacking it. Let's take a look at the line history. Also, I will pull up the weather. But here, I'll just grab the weather here quickly from a different site before I pull it up. And we have 7 miles per hour out to a left field, a little warmer than it was yesterday, 60 Fahrenheit, and out to left field. Or is that? Let's make sure that's yes, right at game time. Okay, so that's the weather. Let's take a look at this line history here, and then pull up the cash flow. Line history wise, this opened up at -173 for the Padres. They've taken 16 cents of cash since 2:12 p.m. yesterday. Let's take a look at the total. This total opened up at 8.5 at -101 to the over. It's now it's at 8. It's at 8 and it's juiced to the under. So we've had a big move, and it got down to 7.5 at 9:11 this morning. So it was down a full run, and then there was a little bit of buyback at that point once it was hit 7.5. So a big move to the under, and a big move to the Padres. So let's see if the cash correlates with the Padres and the under. 69% of the tickets and 74% of the cash is on the Padres, and they're moving the market because of it. And then 49% of the tickets and 69% of the cash is on the under. So everything kind of correlating towards Nick Martinez, the do everything pitcher for the Padres last year. And the Padres, Martinez last year was 4-4, 3.47 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, 106 in the third, 95 strikeouts, 41 walks, and 8 saves. He did everything. Kyle Freeland, 9-11, 4.53 ERA, 1.41 WHIP last year. He had the bounce back season, and it was good to see. We've watched him pitch for a long time. It's good to see that that some of that horrific year was not going to stick with him. Take it away here, Bobano. Rockies, Padres.
I'm stepping in front of this totals move. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I didn't think yesterday. Did it go up yesterday or did it go down? I'm trying to think with the total for Rock, because I was on the over with Rockies Padres yesterday, and I don't understand the love for this under the way it has, like to go from 8.5, all the way to 8, and now I'm seeing 7.5 at like that's a full run, and I'm not sure it's warranted. Kyle Freeland's one of those pitchers where actually, if you look, he's struggled against the Padres. I think he's been worse though against San Diego. In Denver, he's actually been better against them here at Petco. But I think this is a night for the Padres bats to wake up here tonight after yesterday against Freeland. I think they will.
That's confirmed, Bobano. There was a move to the under. It opened at 7.5, slightly juiced to the under, and it closed at 7, juiced to the over.
I was against it yesterday. I'm against it today too. Here with this too. I'm not a Nick Martinez is. To me, Nick Martinez is not. I'm going to shut you down pitcher. He's he's got a 3 ERA. He's all right. He's not spectacular, but I think the Padres bats awake here against Colorado. They get into that middle relief bullpen of theirs, which is pretty bad. It didn't get exposed last night. Keep in mind, I think the Padres kind of backed it in once they got down 7-2 last night. There was not a big rally at any point in that game last night. So the way I look at this here is that now it's fallen too far with these two pitchers. I think the Padres definitely, and Padres too, historically better against lefties, better against southpaws. I think we're going to see evidence of that here tonight, that the offense can bounce back. Remember, they've got Soto and they've got Machado and they've got a lot of weapons there, the Padres. So definitely think the Padres have a bounce back offensive. And I think the Rockies do enough as well to contribute to the scoreboard. I think the Padres probably win, but I'm not laying a minus 195. I don't think the value is great, but it probably is San Diego looking to bounce back. Probably a good chance to, but I'm going to go with this total. I think that just the move has gone too far, in my opinion, and we'll lock it in now. Over 7.5, minus 114 at FanDuel.
Let's lock you in for Bobano. Bobano, over 7.5 minus, was that 114?
Yep, minus 114.
Minus 114. So we had interesting feelings correlated by Piker. He said, huge move to the under, and I love the over here. He says, highly conflicted. Both pitchers struggle versus these lineups. And here we go. Blackman, 4-17 against Martinez. Cron, 320 in 25 at-bats with 3 jacks against them. So that is a big piece. And
6.75 ERA for Freeland alone against the Padres last season. Yep.
And they got huge numbers against Freeland.
Yeah.
Okay, Piker and Bobano confident. Well, Piker, I don't think, was confident until he knew that you guys were doing it together. And then, of course, that's all you need to hear. So I feel the same way. Johnny Gunn says, baseball and market moves have been successful for me for a while now. You just have to know when to fade them. I think this is a good spot to go against it. Padres lineup is stout. Yeah, I'd perfectly put, Johnny. Perfectly put. Because, the tear I went on late last year was all predicated on if it correlated with my
I honestly think you respect the late season market moves in Major League Baseball a little bit more than opening day or the first week of the season. I find there's more bad decisions, bad moves. Yeah.
Valid, very valid. All right, so Bobano has moved on that spot. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. let me ask you: is the fact that the Rockies have touched Martinez the reason why you're not on the Padres?
Yeah, exactly. And price -195. You know what you can do is, I think I'm not making this official, but the one thing I'm going to do is, last year when I liked a heavy favorite, I almost always gravitated to the -0.5 the first 5 innings, and that's the route I took to bet it. And certainly, if you look at this game, but the -0.5 would be probably something I would consider at -125. But I didn't utilize the -1 full game run line enough, I thought. And the -1 full game run line here for San Diego is -140 at Pinnacle. So it's kind of pricey, I will admit. But yeah, I'd consider either the San Diego -1 full game run line or -0.5 first 5 innings. But I don't like it enough to bet it. I like the total more. So that's why I stuck to that.
All right. Sorry, I just
and yeah, Martinez is still not a. Yeah, I really feel comfortable laying a almost -200 price with him. So
sorry, I was meant to give Dutch the 10-minute warning. Instead, I gave it to Big Ragu. So I apologize.
He's not even on the show today.
so I hope you didn't panic, Big Ragu, wherever you are. Okay,
you're good.
Let's move on. 10 p.m. Eastern is our next spot. Arizona Diamondbacks at Los Angeles Dodgers. We're at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. This is a fascinating matchup. This one I really wanted to talk out. Merrill Kelly, Dustin May. Merrill Kelly, 13-8, 3.37 ERA, 1.14 WHIP, 200 in the third, 177 K, 61 walks. I made the mistake, on yesterday being on Arizona first 5. We just made so much money off these pitchers last year.
Yeah, I was too. I was such a big Gallen fan last year, and he didn't have a great spring, and I looked past it last night. And he had a good track record against the Dodgers. He consistently pitched well against the Dodgers, but he had a rough spring. He didn't have a great spring training, and it kind of felt like he was the author of his own demise last night. I mean, you just can't have control issues and command issues like that. The walks killed him. And unfortunately, Dodgers, you can't walk good baseball teams. All they need is that one hit and take advantage, and that's what happened.
Yeah, it was frustrating. But I have the same feeling when I see Merrill Kelly. I just remember how much money we made at home. Now we're not at home, but still, Merrill Kelly just kept paying us out last year. 60 Fahrenheit at Chavez Ravine, 6 miles per hour, and it is blowing in. Let's take a look at the line history here for. Oh, sorry, that was it. Let me take a look at the line history here for this one. We have the Dodgers opening up at -177. They're now -185, an 8-cent move towards them. Totals wise, it opened up at 8 and it's now at 7.5. So it's a half-run move to the under. Let's see if the cash correlates here for this one. What the hell? What have I done with it? Oh, there we go. Here we go. See if the cash correlates. We have 80% of the tickets on the Dodgers and 62% of the cash, 80 and 62. So there are some bigger bets coming in on Merrill Kelly and the Dodgers, and I'm close to joining them on a first 5 basis. I'm close to joining them. Total wise, 55% of tickets, 55% of the cash on the under, and I guess they're respecting that. LG in the house. Yes, your perfect timing, LG, because we're talking about that right now. Thank you for joining us. So I think that I just don't know what Dustin May is going to give us. Is he going to be electric this year? We've waited for him to be absolutely electric. He wasn't in that short stint. Remember, he got hurt last year. He was 2-3, 1.17 WHIP, 4.50 ERA, 29 Ks. It was just 29 Ks in 30 innings with 14 walks. Joe Yurkovich is on the Diamondbacks here. He says, I'm chasing the Diamondbacks to put 1 win up in this series for a half unit. Rogue Energy's on the Diamondbacks here. Robert Franklin says Kelly does get smacked by the Dodgers, but also put up a high strikeout count against them. Take it away for us, Bobano. This one is I needed to talk out with everybody. So floor is yours. Dodger Stadium, Diamondbacks, Dodgers.
Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, this is one of the pitchers I'm most intrigued to watch tonight. That's Dustin May, who we know has been riddled with injuries, is coming off Tommy John surgery, but when he's fully healthy, and Dave Roberts says he's fully healthy, Dustin May says he's fully healthy, says he feels great, the arm's got the pop back, he's got that electric arm back. We know he can miss bats. He can flat out miss bats when he is on. And we're going to find out tonight if Dustin May is going to be on top of it now that he's healthy again for the LA Dodgers. We know he's a swing and miss pitcher. We know the Diamondbacks certainly have swing and miss in their lineup. Merrill Kelly, I don't know what to expect. I'm seeing with Merrill Kelly, he might only pitch 75 pitches tonight. He's on a pitch count because, the World Baseball Classic, he didn't get his arm fully stretched out. There are concerns about how deep he's going to go into this game. And you saw that Arizona bullpen last night. Not good. So I think if you like Arizona, you only want them in the first 5. Yeah, I like the spot with Gallen more last night than tonight. To take Arizona. But what I am going to bet for an official play, because I think from all indications, it sounds like Dustin May's ready to go. He feels healthy. Sounds like he's ready to take this opportunity here. And one thing he can do, and again, Arizona's a team that they will strike out, and we know when he's got his arm the way it can be, Dustin May can miss bats with it. I'm going to go with the strikeout prop tonight on Dustin May for an official play. Let's go Dustin May over 5.5 strikeouts, -108 at FanDuel. I'm gonna be doing more strikeout props this year, and of course Sharpie is our resident pub sports radio expert when it comes to the strikeout props, the K props, as anybody that watches The Walking Dead will know. I think this is a good spot for it, because if Dustin May comes out, and he has the potential to dominate this lineup tonight, in my opinion, if he's right and he's on his game. And if he does, I think he's going to rack up at least 6 strikeouts. And if he gets 7, 8, 9 strikeouts tonight, then you may not get 5.5 for Dustin May strikeout props very often the rest of the way. So I'm going to buy low, and I'm going to buy stock on Dustin May here in his very first start of the season. But instead of betting the Dodgers in any form, money line, run line, first 5, I'm going to go the strikeout route for Dustin May over 5.5 strikeouts, -108.
You are in. I don't know. May gets so pumped up. It's going to be a Friday night at Dodger Stadium. It's going to be sold out.
I just hope he's not got command and control issues, because if he's pumped up and he's starting to lose the strike zone, he's walking guys left and right, it might be a quick hook and the prop is dead. So that's the one fear.
You don't want him to rack up his pitch count, but even if he's a little wild, I still think you can get your over there. Yeah. It's I think at this point, I think the Diamondbacks +0.5 with no vig first 5. I think I add that to my card here. I feel like maybe May will have to prove it to me here. No vig.
It was a long time ago, but I will say this about Dustin May, and it was a long time ago. He has career 8.7 strikeouts per 9, almost 24% strikeout rate. And he had 79 strikeouts, I believe, in 2020 and 2021 combined. So, what's that? An average of 35 plus strikeouts. I mean, so he's got that. He can miss bats. I think, I'm just going by what Roberts and he are saying. He feels great. He feels healthy. It doesn't seem like there's any, lingering effects after Tommy John. He's ready to go. So with that in mind, I like the strikeout prop. And if he rolls through this Arizona lineup tonight, racks up the Ks, 6, 7 innings, 1 run, 8, 9, 10 strikeouts, you're not going to get 5.5, again, maybe with a strikeout prop. So that's why I'm buying in right away.
Yeah. And I mean, look at the way they hit him. Freeman, 375 against the Muncie, 423. Smith, 318.
Yeah, there's a lot of good numbers for Dodgers against Kelly. Yeah,
that's 304. Maybe I'm reaching, and I should see what May does. So I don't think. Okay, I just want to say it out loud and lose confidence or whatever. So, all right. I did not expect to go that. I will cheer on May in the over 5.5. Jojo Rich adding no runs first inning. All right, let's talk about the final baseball game on the card before we attack a 13-game NBA slate with Dutch Boy Fresh. 10:10 p.m. Eastern. The Cleveland Guardians at the Seattle Mariners. We're at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. Let's take a look. And I have moved on this game. And it's sort of a similar situation to Dustin May a little bit, except that May knew the difference between Hunter Gaddis and Dustin May for me is that Dustin May's been waiting he knew he's appointed to be the next big pitcher for the Dodgers. He knew he was going to be starting game 2. Like, he knew this. Hunter Gaddis did not. Tristan McKenzie's supposed to be pitching here. So that is a big difference here, and one that I am attacking. But let's just set the table before I discuss how I'm moving on this. We don't need to worry about weather. The roof will be closed for sure. Opening up at minus 156, now at minus 160 are the Mariners. So a 4-cent move towards them. Total wise, this opened up at 7.5 minus 112 to the over. It's moved 3 cents towards the under at 7.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. Rogue Energy is on the Guardians. And Mike M says intersecting under trend spots here. So let's take a look at the cash flow for this final game here on the card for us in MLB. We have 54% of the tickets and 74% of the cash on the Guardians at this plus price. Then we have 63% of tickets and 67% cash on the under. So Hunter Gaddis, I had a long, and this is a problem. When you succeed in betting, you start, and certain things will, when you win a bet, you remember how you won it, and you go back to the well, your subconscious is taking you to that spot because you've done it before you won, and your subconscious is an asshole, generally doing negative things and saying negative things in your head. And putting you in bad situations, and that's why we talk about the biases that we all have. So Hunter Gaddis is 6'6", 260. So he goes to Double-A Akron. Now he was 4-3 with a 4.24 ERA, 1.17 WHIP, but 102 Ks and 76 in the third. He bullied everybody. He went to Triple-A Columbus, 4-3, 3.60 ERA, 0.93 WHIP, 56 Ks and 45 innings. I said when he came up last year that this he's going to get touched. That you're not a bully. You're in the show now. Everybody's 6'6", 260. Who are you going to fuck with? And he got rocked. 2 starts, he got rocked. He went 7 in the third innings, allowed 15 earned runs, 7 home runs, 5 Ks, 3 walks. Is he ready for this right now? I don't know. The market says he is. The market says he's ready. We got Big Ragu's action in. So Big Ragu did know his 10-minute warning. Big Ragu came in with after the message. He gave us his action. So Robbie Ray did not have a good start last year. We remember one thing about the Guardians is they can't hit lefties. Now, they have adjusted their lineup. They should be better than last year. Last year, they had 239, 646 OPS for lefties. And Hunter Gaddis had a good spring. But who cares? Or maybe we should care. I don't know. But I expect the Guardians to struggle against lefties. I think that Hunter Gaddis could possibly get touched. In 9 days, he's going to be 25 years old. So he's still young. I'm on the Mariners first 5, minus a half at minus 110. I think that we can get enough out of Hunter Gaddis. Now, maybe Hunter Gaddis blows our mind. But Dan Kelly today, he bet the Guardians not to make the playoffs at plus 105. So he thinks missing Tristan McKenzie is a big deal. Let's hear what you have to say. Take it away for us here, Bobano. Big game, Guardians, Mariners.
He's got a sub-1 ERA against Cleveland, and I actually was leaning with Gaddis and the Guardians, but then Ray's track record against Cleveland is just sub-1 ERA, 0.9 ERA for him against Cleveland. So he's dominated this lineup. I didn't like anything I saw from the Guardians offense yesterday. Now, granted, against Castillo, who's a very good pitcher, obviously, but the bats were feeble. You compare what they did to what a team like Toronto did yesterday. You can't even compare the two. The Blue Jays are taking good at bats. They're working counts. They're getting walks. They're going to the opposite field. I mean, we didn't see any of that crap from the Cleveland Guardians last night. It was a terrible approach at the terrible night for the whole team at the plate. And now you got a flamethrower in Ray. Ray can give up the odd home run. We know that when he misses his spots, he can give up a home run or two. But he pitched better in the second half after a rough start last year. That's the one concern, though, with backing Seattle here is Robbie Ray got off to a slow start last year. Does that carry over here? Gaddis did have a good spring, but again, in the regular season last year when he got the opportunity, he wasn't great. So let's see how he fares here. And I don't want to bet against Seattle in this home ballpark. Did you see the atmosphere last night? I keep calling it Safeco Field. I know it's not called that anymore, but I think they're ready for Mariners baseball this season. Man, that crowd was into it. They were pumped. They gave Karinchak, the reliever from Cleveland, all kinds of issues, and he had a time clock violation because of it, how loud the crowd was, couldn't get his signals. I mean, it was an electric environment in Seattle last night. And I think that I like the Seattle team a lot. I've got futures on them to win the AL West, to win the World Series, to win the pennant. I'm all in on Seattle this year. I like this team a lot, and I didn't see enough out of Cleveland to want to back them. And I've got enough questions about Gaddis where I'm not going to back them. But I'm also not interested in laying a price like this with Robbie Ray. 5 straight wins for Seattle over Cleveland as well. So this is a pass for me. Total pass for me.
A question from Johnny Guns. He wants to know the numbers against Ray. The most important number is Jose Ramirez is batting 111 against him. That's the only number I care about when I look at the Guardians lineup. There's only one thing I look at. I don't give a fuck. I know Bell's not going to hurt you. I know that Rosario can't hurt me. I've seen this team. Quan, slap. If you slap, he's hitting 333s. What, 2 for 6 with 2 singles? So it doesn't concern me.
They're not a power team. They don't hit for power. They don't hit for shit when it comes to power, Cleveland. I mean, they're just station-to-station baseball team. Put the ball in play, get a single, steal some bases. That was their MO last year, but everybody knows that now. And again, with the new rules in play, it's going to be interesting to see. In theory, actually, they should be able to take advantage of some of these new rules. But, man, they're a very, very, put the ball in play, rely on defense making mistakes for the other team type of team. I mean, they just don't hit for a lot of home run power. There's not a lot of home run pop in that Guardians lineup still.
I only took the Mariners season win total over. I may decide to get in at some point in the market, but I like that you're on them. Let's review all action. We got Dutch Boy Fresh about to attack a enormously big NBA card, and a bunch of cappers in the chat ready for basketball. Man Bear Pig says Naylor is a machine. Look, obviously we love him up here, up north. We love Naylor, but and he's a big boy, but he's very streaky, and we love him up here though. First off, I want to mention Big Ragu jumped in the chat yesterday. 3 bangers. He went 3-0. Started his season actually 4-0, but for here in the chat 3-0, and he's dropped 3 spots that he is attacking. I'm gonna pop that here into the chat right there. That's Big Ragu's action. He's on Lynn over 5.5 Ks at -120. He's on the Arizona Dodgers game under 6.5 at +180. Arizona team total under 3 -104. He's on Seattle -1.5 at +134. Where? Not in Seattle, right? They got the roof. Where's the rain coming in LA? Must be LA if you're talking about. TJ Sunstein says Mariners -1.5. Young big league pitcher with bad history in the bigs. Home game for the Mariners. Joe Ram bad average versus Ray. Like Julio to pop one out too. There we go. So let's review all MLB action. We have Jose came in with the say hey play of the day. He's on the Marlins first 5 -107. I'm on the first 5 under 4 at -115 in Mets Marlins. Then Bobano's on the Astros first 5 -1/2 at +100. Ron Crawford's on the Astros -1 at -101 for the spreadsheet play today. Bobano's on the over 7.5 -114 in Colorado, San Diego. Bobano's on Dustin May over 5.5 Ks at -108. And I'm on the Mariners first 5 -1/2 at -110. No, Piker, we the Kingdome is long gone. We fucking smashed that hideous thing down. That even took out my great Aunt Mary. That place, the
T-Mobile Park now. The name of the Seattle Stadium. Beautiful. I always call it safe. It's always going to be Safeco Field to me. It's just the way it is. Yeah.
My great Aunt Mary bailed on the stairs at the Kingdome. Frightening to see an 80-year-old woman bail like that. It's a shithole. Bobano, excellent work today, my friend. You have NBA Pub Hub coming up here at 4 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for sharing your hard work with us. Any last, great Aunt Mary, Piker, great Aunt Mary. She did live till she was 93, though. She was a card counter in Reno, a blackjack card counter. That's what she did for her last 50 years of her life. Bobano, great job. Anything you want to mention to the great cappers in the chat?
No, other than to have a great weekend, a great Friday, cash some tickets. Let's make some money. You too, Jimmy. Dutch as well, who's going to do a great job breaking down NBA.
I have it written down. Ray Charles wanted birthday picks. Birthday picks from Dutch, from you, and from myself. Right. So I'll give you a second. No
second needed. Okay. Let's go Colorado, San Diego, over 7.5. I like it. Really like it.
Okay. So Bobano is on Colorado, San Diego, over 7.5. For your birthday, I'm giving you the bet that nobody agreed with. Not one person.
If I had to take one for hockey, it would be Buffalo. I don't have the heart to make Buffalo a birthday pick.
No, it's tough. No. My birthday pick is the Winnipeg Jets -1.5 at +110. The bet that everybody in the chat disagreed with. But not us, Ray. Not us, baby. We're cashing that shit. And it's your birthday present. All right. Bobano, you want to close it up so that these are birthday?
Yeah, stay tuned for Dutch. He'll do a great job breaking down the NBA, and I'll be back with my NBA thoughts on the NBA Pub Up, 4 p.m. Eastern with Ski and with Billy later on today. So looking forward to that. And then make sure you tune into the best Final Four preview you'll ask for tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, college basketball, Pub Hub, me, Connor Mack, and Dabby Cab. We'll get you ready for the Final Four, San Diego State, Florida Atlantic, UConn, Miami. Looking forward to breaking those down. And then when that's done, and we're going to try to get off the air by 11. We're going to be on at 10 a.m. Eastern. We should need more than an hour. Make sure you join on with the the horses. Get on that horse stream tomorrow with Jimmy the Bag, Razor Sharp, everybody. Connor Mack's going to be on that. All kinds of great horse bettors and cappers throughout the day tomorrow, 11:15 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, we'll be done Pub Hub by then. We shouldn't need more than that. 1 hour for 2 games should be plenty. So make sure you join the horse racing stream right after the college basketball Pub Hub tomorrow morning and cash some tickets.
I love it. There he is, Bobano. Billy says that horse was in the heat. There's Johnny Gilpatrick. He's going to be a big part of our horse show tomorrow. Gilly in the house. I love capping horses with Gilly. Hopefully this time I don't go down $1,000 before making a miraculous comeback. Hopefully, but you never know. This is the life we chose, and sometimes it's a Friday and you're ready for the weekend, and the NBA gives you a 13-game card just to fuck with you, just to say you got to put in that work, and your next guest is going to have to put in that work. This is the biggest card he's been dealt with. Oh, man. And thank God you're here. Shit. Thank God you are here. It is time to cap this giant NBA card, and we have just the capper to guide us to the cash. He had a spectacular year last year. The sample size is just he hasn't had enough of a sample size. Maybe getting 13 games fired at him. I can imagine what he's going to do with the Rockets Pistons game already. Please welcome to the show from Las Vegas, Nevada, the freshest man in the handicapping industry, Dutch Boy Fresh. Dutchy, what's good?
Jimmy the motherfucking Bag. Salute to you, all the real ones holding us down in Wi-Fi land. It's all love, man. It's good to be back here on a fresh Friday. Missed you last week. Hopefully you had a good time in the essay. I'm sure you did. But yeah, man, ready to we got a huge motherfucking card. I ain't gonna lie to you. I spent extra time on this. So there will be some backwoods though, Jim. You already know. Too many of these motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, the work is out. So everybody in the chat, let's get to work. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern with the Chicago Bulls 36-40, 16-22 on the road, at the Charlotte Hornets 26-51, 13-24 at home. We're at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. All this talk about MJ being a bad owner. The only important thing when you're an owner is that your franchise becomes more valuable. And look, he's the GOAT for a reason. And it doesn't matter that they didn't win. He won. Right, so
exactly.
Simple. Okay.
Fuck Colin Cowherd. I'm like, this motherfucker, man. People just say shit now. They're everybody trying to be, I think, the next Skip Bayless is really what it is. Everybody's just trying to be that guy.
Yeah, I hosted the IFBC and down in Costa Rica, and Johnny Manziel was there, and Skip went off on Johnny Manziel, and I told it because that night before I was capping and I went down to the lobby, and I know we got to work, but I went down to the lobby and all the cappers had their just because I lost my key. I needed a new key. All the cappers were there with their hookers, their Costa Rican hookers. They all introduced me to their hookers as if they were their wives. You know, they're like, "Oh, this is Destiny," and they're all introducing me to their wives. And so I made these jokes about it. And Skip Bayless was like, "This bad comedian's telling hooker jokes and Johnny Football's fucking at a gambling conference." So he called me a bad comedian. I wish he had said my name. That would have been better. But he just called me a bad comedian.
Bad comedian.
He called me a bad comedian on the show. But no name. We don't know who the bad comedian was, but it was me. All right. Let's get to work here. We start with a huge market move towards the Chicago Bulls. Open up at -7.5. They're now at -10. Go over to the total. Opened up at 223. It's now at 223.5. Sorry, so many of these comments are in, but I gotta show them because we got. Here we go. Let's get this. All right, there we go. You're right. Destiny is the perfect hooker's name. Is stripper name generally, but we can go with hooker. They both work. Let's go over to the cash flow for this Bulls Hornets spot. We have the Bulls have 62% of the tickets and 76% of the cash, and the market is moving briskly towards them. Totals wise, this opened up. We have 26% of the tickets and 56% of the cash on the under. 26 and 56 on the under, and it's moved up a half point. And it got up to 2. It initially was going down, but then it got up to 224.5. So all we know are the books are uncomfortable with the money on the Bulls. Chicago 2-3 over the past 5, playing the pace at 96.6 possessions a game. Charlotte 4-1, playing the pace at 102.7 possessions a game. Bulls come in off their second straight loss, 121-110 at home to the Lakers on Wednesday. Levine had looked so good until that game. Scored 16 points. And Alex Caruso came back from injury, wobbling around the court. Like, somebody get him off the floor. He's not healthy. Is this child labor? Are you forcing him to play here? Wobbling up and down the court. What was that? Andre Drummond didn't play, which we shouldn't joke about. He didn't play because of mental health issues, reasons. So there is some. All of a sudden, the Bulls look. I feel so bad for Bulls fans because all of a sudden you got to be like, oh, look, our team's coming together. And then everything falls apart in public against the Lakers. Hornets come in off their third straight win, 137-134 OKC on Tuesday. PJ Washington. I'm sure Razor is the happiest guy in America, you know?
Killed it.
Anytime you see PJ Washington hitting threes, you're like, oh, Razor did it again. They had no Gordon Hayward, no Terry Rozier, no Kelly Oubre, and no Dennis Smith Jr. Does Dennis Smith Jr. matter? I guess with a team that has point guard issues, you'd want him out there. Take it away for us here. Dutch, first game on the board, Bulls, Hornets.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy, Ray Charles. I believe it's his birthday. Happy birthday to our dude. Real deal prime. I see you, my dude. Yeah, man. I think it's Chicago or nothing here. Charlotte has fucked around and won some basketball games, playing a little bit better. It doesn't really matter who's in the lineup because they've been beat up with Hayward, Rozier. But they've been finding a way. They've been stepping it up a little bit. They've won 3 straight against all 3 teams that were competing to get in this playoff tournament. So Bulls, same situation. They need to win some basketball games. I look at the Hornets to be the spoiler here. Probably I would lean full game here, but I definitely think Chicago comes out firing early. So if you like the Bulls, I would definitely get them first quarter or first half. This number is too big. Simply, I just believe that Hornets will be scrappy and find a way to stay in the basketball game for 4 quarters. A lot of say what you will about the Bulls. I do believe they have the talent, but I'm not into laying double digits on the road with the Chicago Bulls. And the Hornets just find a way. They're kind of scrappy, man. They really are. So I think they're going to take the same momentum into this. If you want it, it's the Hornets at the crib, a full game, or I look for Chicago early.
Yeah, and the number is -3 first quarter. Is that too much?
I don't think so, but I'm not going to bet it, Jim. I think 3 is probably that's the capper right there, you know?
Yeah.
If it was 3.5, I would say too much.
And Jarek White got the Bulls -7.5. Excellent work. Jarek.
Great work. They beat them 2 out of 3 times already this year. They've been up big against them. I just look at it as like they, kind of got embarrassed, kind of got punked. LBJ talking shit to the whole bench, all that most recently. So I would expect them to come out a little angry. They were only up 2 last game in Chicago at the end of 1. When they played back in Chicago earlier, in Charlotte earlier this season, they were up by double digits. So I expect a little bit more of that, but I do not trust Chicago full game.
Yeah, I think it was a succinct, sharp breakdown. I get it. I don't know if I want. We have, we'll see how much action's there. I put a question mark beside it here. It's funny. I accidentally text Ragu with the 10-minute warning, Dutch. And I apologize. And then he showed up right at the 10-minute warning and gave us his picks. I mentioned razor sharp picks, and he shows up with PJ over 2.5 threes, -105.
There we go. Shout out to our guy, Doc, Big Ragu, and Razor Sharp picks. Good shit. Yeah, Razor hit me up the other day with the Grizzlies 4.5 early, or excuse me, the Clippers. Fucking, they ends up going to he must have got the call early, knowing that the Grizzlies weren't going to play. It ended up going to like Clippers -2, I think. They win the game outright. So that was a great call by our guy Razor. One of the best in the business, man, and Doc as well.
We have such a great group together. I love it. And there's our DJ.
Speaking of great dudes, right?
In the house. DJ Big Boss alert. DJ Big Boss alert. All right, let's get back to work. Next game for us is Oklahoma City Thunder, 38-39, 15-23 on the road at the Indiana Pacers, 33-44, 19-19 at home. We're at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. OKC 2-3 over their past 5, playing the pace 100 possessions a game. Indiana 1-4, playing the pace of 102.20 possessions a game. This opened up with the Thunder as 3-point favorites. It's been all over the map because it initially moved towards the Pacers, and this was a 2.5-point spread. This got down to 2. This was at 2, and then all of a sudden in the last, maybe some information came out because we're talking like in the last 5 minutes, this has jumped up to 4. So maybe some injury information because there's a lot going on with the injury report here, especially with both teams, with Shea and with Halliburton and Hield.
Shea, real quick, Jim, not to cut you off. I just wanted to make sure I read it right. Shea is now listed as questionable. He was out, and now he's up to questionable.
That's exactly that. And it just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I got that 13 minutes ago.
Yeah. So there it is. There's the reason why the market moved. This total opened up at 235. It's now 238.5. And again, so in the last, 8 minutes or so, it's gone up 1.5 points to 238.5. So let's take a look at the cash flow and see if it follows suit here. We have 59. Oh, sorry. This is the total. 59% of tickets and 76% of cash is on the over already. Spread wise, 55% of tickets, 72% cash is on the Thunder, and it's moving towards the Thunder. OKC comes off its second win in 3 games, 107-106 at home over the Pistons on Wednesday. Shea's been out the last 2 games. He hurt his ankle Sunday against Portland. So Pacers coming off their 4th straight loss, 149-136 at home to the Bucks on Wednesday. Turner's missed the last 3 games with back soreness. Healed non-COVID illness and Halliburton left elbow soreness have missed the last 2 games. Saturate's already on OKC -1 first quarter. Frank White says Pacers have been playing hard, but I got to think the Pacers can run out of gas in these last few games left. Let's hear what our guy Dutch Boy Fresh has to say. Take it away, Thunder, Pacers.
Yeah, man, this one is like you can make a case for both of these teams, but they have both been ridiculous, really bad against the number. Of late, the past 5 to 6 games, these guys have not fucking covered a fucking basketball game. OKC's kind of came back to reality after being obviously without having Shea. The Pacers haven't covered in 4 straight basketball games. Don't cover at the house. It's pretty much a bum fight for me, Jim. Excuse me. I do now that Shea's back in the lineup. I would definitely lean OKC. I just don't have confidence in either one of these basketball teams. The Pacers, yeah, man, they just been beat the fuck up. Really, what it is. Hallie hasn't seemed to be getting right. They have guys in and out of lineup every night. Jordan Noah has been playing like really their best basketball for him. Shout out to our guy Billy, just kind of pointed that out. So they got guys that bring their lunch pail that are going to try, but talent-wise, I think OKC should go into Indiana, win this basketball game. Didn't want to even touch it without Shea, but now that Shea's in there, I could maybe, a strong lean towards OKC here, but no action for me in this basketball game.
So then they're at this point, it looks like Halliburton and Turner are done for the year. At this point. So Buddy,
yeah, it's crazy.
Buddy's off the injury report. I kind of thought he was going to play. We found out during the show that he wasn't going to play, but I had kind of thought he was going to play last game. There is our guy Sharon Pulliam. What up, Sharon? And Kadesh, our guy KD, saying massive injury report for Boston coming up. So Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Williams, Horford, Pritchard, questionable and doubtful. So we're going to get all that coming up here. But let's talk about a game where we have a sense of what's going on. We have a sense of what's going on, and that is the Raptors at the
Here we go.
Raptors, Sixers. Right now, Tobias Harris is sick. So other than that, we have a pretty good idea of what's going on. So Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Toronto 3-2 over the past 5, 96.6 possessions a game. Philly 2-3, playing at pace 95.80 possessions a game. Nunya has moved on the first quarter, first half, and full game under in this spot. These teams are playing at a slow pace. There's Nasty Nate in the house asking where are all those Celtics jokes today from our guy.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. I woke up feeling so damn good yesterday or this morning the only play I had yesterday was Celtics plus 2.5, and it was just, if they could all be that motherfucking easy, Jim.
Oof. Oh man! Somehow I lost money, a little bit of juice on the Pelicans. Somehow I think I'm the only one in the whole world that I cashed there, but I also had their team total over. Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, let's get to work here. Toronto opening up +5 -105. They're now +5 -101. So there's been a slight move towards the Sixers. Totals wise, this opened up at 225. It's now 224. Take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 40% of the tickets and 57% of the cash on these Sixers. Total wise, we have 56% of the cash and 55% of the tickets on the under. 56 and 55, and it's dropped a point. So, set a quick table for our man Dutch here. Raptors coming off their third straight win, 106-92 at home to the Heat on Tuesday. Siakam went for 26. OG went for 22. It was a 3-1 homestand, and they're now 500 for the first time since December 9th. But they're 12-24 on the road. And it's just all year they have been struggling on the road. Sixers snapped their 3-game losing streak with a 160-108 win at home over the Mavericks on Wednesday. And they had Embiid and Harden back. Embiid went for 25-9-3, Harden 15-12-4. But it's Maxey who's really kept the team together over this last stretch. Take it away for us, Raptors.
Yeah, excuse me, Jim. Yeah, strong point there with Maxey. Since Doc threw him in the starting lineup with James Harden, Maxey's the number 2 scorer on that. He's the number 2 option on that team. James Harden is the distributor. Maxey, if it ain't Joel Embiid, they want Maxey doing some damn things. Believe that. I like Toronto here, man. I do. I like Toronto. I think Philly, a little sleepy right now, to be quite honest with you. And I think you're getting a Toronto team that's been playing their best basketball of late. They're 6-0 ATS last 6 versus a winning team. So they play up to their competition. They're 6-1 ATS last 8 overall. And they lose as a dog by an average of 2 points per game. So they're gritty. They don't get blown out too often. Philadelphia has a tendency to let motherfuckers hang around. Look what they did exactly to Dallas the other night. Dallas was up 9 into 1, up 5 at halftime. And they lose by 8. So, I was on the first quarter, first half, and stayed away from the full game. And as you watch the NBA Pub, I told you Philly will win that game, but they will not be up at halftime. And I see the same thing here. I like Toronto, though, a little bit more full game here as well than I did than the Mavericks, because I think Toronto is just better team than Dallas, to be quite honest with you. And they're playing some of the best basketball they've played. Philly starts slow. They find a way to win. Not really something you want to do. It's faded team on the it's faded Philly at the crib. They are a bet on team at the crib, but I just think Toronto, man, they had 2 days off. They've won 3 straight. Impressive. Say what you will. They did what they were supposed to do against a Miami team without Jimmy Butler. Beat them by double digits though. They're feeling themselves a little bit right now. We know they're well coached. They're going to go in and play a playoff type basketball game. They got to start winning. They need to win basketball games as well. Kind of making a run for this playoff run. I like Toronto here. First quarter, I think they jump out early. Philly has been down. They have not been up the last 3 quarters or the last 3 games in the first quarter, including most recently being down by 9 against Dallas. I actually think this is a trifecta here spot, Jim, but I don't want to go too crazy on Toronto. So I have a unit on the first quarter and a unit on the full game. I got the 5.5 full game. And give me the best number you can get. But I definitely think Toronto comes in this game wanting to win this game more. Just simple. This game means more to Toronto. Philly plays Milwaukee on Sunday. I think that's kind of where their mindset is. Tobias has already got the little tummy ache, so we'll see, man. But I don't trust Joel Embiid and James Harden, to be quite honest with you. I think Toronto goes in there and can win the basketball game outright. So give me the 5.5. And we know Philly starts slow. So first quarter, Toronto.
But you want first quarter and full game?
Yes, sir. 2 plays.
Yeah, I like where you're at here. I kind of tend to want to focus on first quarter, first half here, but
the only thing not to cut you off, the only reason I stayed off the first half is because the Sixers played pretty well in that second quarter. Even in these games that most recently where they've started off slow, they've actually won the second quarter. So I don't want to, so I lean more first quarter, and then the full game here, the numbers, the trend. I just think it's too many points for Toronto full game.
Well, we can get you that 5.5. We can get that -111, and that's available at Pinnacle. And then first quarter here, let's get that line shop quickly for you on Toronto. We can get you a +2 at -112. Those 2s are disappearing. Might be something that needs to be bet quicker rather than later. I like where you're at here.
Yeah. Like I said, I like that first half too. It's just when I broke it down a little bit, the first quarter to me. The full game, surprisingly, I like. I would think that, the way the Sixers do find a way to win basketball games, that I would kind of maybe just stay to the first half. But I could only get 2.5 on the first half, so I just stayed off of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you're getting a first quarter +2, that makes complete sense. Jarek White says, "What do you think about the total Dutch under playoff type D?" I think the reason why I can't move on the under, maybe it's a Sixers team total under, or maybe it's a first half, or maybe it's a first quarter Sixers team. The reason why I can't move or I'm uncomfortable with, because I don't think the Sixers are going to be playing playoff type D. I mean, if you look at it right now, they're 2.5 games up on the Cavs with 6 games to play. 2.5 games up against the Cavs with 6 games to play. Let's just quickly look at their schedule to see if they have what their final 6 games are. But touch on let me give you the answer for the last 6 games: Toronto, Milwaukee, Boston, Miami, Atlanta, Brooklyn. That's actually a pretty tough 6-game spread. Do you think we're going to get playoff type D here from the Philadelphia 76ers?
I think this will be playoff type basketball. To be quite honest with you, but I do think Philly's in cruise control a little bit. But I'm not, Toronto has been playing better offensively, but I still not, wowed with them from the way they shoot the ball, especially from the perimeter. So I do think it's going to be playoff type basketball. The under is 4-1 last 5 in Philly, 6-2 last 8 meetings. Strong lean to the under.
And LJ says Raptors 9-1 last 10 first quarter.
Let's go, LJ.
All right, I'm extremely interested in that, in your action there. Extremely interested. Great breakdown. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board. 7 p.m. Eastern, Orlando Magic 32-44, 13-25 on the road at the Washington Wizards. And Piker's not seeing 2 anymore. Says 1.5 at DraftKings is about the best he can get. There's a 2 at Bovada at -115. There's a 2 at 5 Dimes at -115. But just to ensure that this isn't a stale line. Let me move over to first quarter here. And it's 2. It's live. 2 at Pinnacle right now. +2, -112 for the Raptors. Magic, Wizards, Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C. Orlando 3-2, playing at the pace of 101 possessions a game. Washington 2-3, playing at the pace 98.60 possessions a game. Let's see if the market is telling us that Beal will be in. We've been waiting for this. I guess telling us he's not going to be in because they open Pinnacle very cautious, but they let winners stay. They do limit them a bit sometimes, but -1 opener. It's now +1 at -109. To put that in the money line perspective, because it's so low, they've gone from -110 to -104. I guess that's telling us there's no Beal. This total's gone from 224 up to 225. And when we take a look at the cash flow here, here we go. We have on the total 38% of the ticket, 66% cash on the under, but it's gone up. On the spread, we have 66% of the tickets and 89% of the cash on the Orlando Magic. Wow. That's a lot. Market's not probably moving enough. Orlando comes in off having their 3-game winning streak snapped in a 113-108 loss at Memphis on Tuesday. Banchero goes for 24, 11, and 5. Wagner 25. Wizards coming off their second win in 3 games, 130, 111 at home to the Celtics on Tuesday. Big Dick Zingis went for 32, 13, and 6. Avdia has been a monster. Double, 25 and 10. Monte Morris, 19 and 9. Kispert, none were delivering. No Bradley Beal and no Kyle Kuzma. And at this point, are they going to be in, or are they being shut down for the rest of the year? So the Wizards have won 2 of their past 3. So they're 2 games back of the Bulls for the 10th final playoff spot. And there's a lot of issues going on in Chicago right now. Now, obviously, they're huge favorites tonight. But maybe there's a possibility that the Wizards can get back into this race. Highly doubt it. Jarek White is on Orlando money line here. Take it away for us here, Dutch, Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, man. I mean, the trend is Orlando, if you want to bet this game. They've covered 7 straight motherfucking basketball games. They did play most recently, however, in Orlando, March 21st. They beat them as a 1.5-point favorite. They beat the Wizards by 10. That was the first time they beat them, Jim, in the last 8 meetings. They had lost 7 straight basketball games to the Washington Wizards. So did they get a taste of beating them and want to continue to do it? Maybe. I believe they are the more talented roster. Maybe the better team at this time without Kuzma and without Bradley Beal. So tough spot here. Not something I like to do, is just bet Orlando on the road. They did find a way to cover in a game that I had a strong lean to against Memphis, but they didn't really look. They really shouldn't have covered that basketball game. So I think I made the right decision by staying off, even though at the end of the day I would have got lucky. Here, I lean towards the Magic. Having just recently beat these boys, though, and losing 7 out of the last 8 basketball games, it's tough for me to go back to the well with Orlando. I just think they are with the injuries for Washington. I can't bet Washington, but this should be a Washington spot. But without Bradley Beal, without Kyle Kuzma, you're relying an awful lot on the baby motherfucking unicorn, and that's not really what I'm looking to do. So tough basketball game. I think you can make side for both cases. I do think a lot of people are going to be betting the Magic here. So, I think the average person is going to be betting the Orlando Magic in this basketball game. So I would be leery.
Yeah, I'm a little leery.
Looks too easy. You know what I mean?
Well, Darren Turner says everyone's betting the team that wants to win. Why not? Just the fact that Beal and Kuzma are hurt. I mean, every time we get to this point in the season, Beal's not available. But Kispert and Kendrick Nunn wants a job. Avdia is playing real basketball. Yeah. And Razor Sharp Pick says, trust the Magic on the road. Not something you see someone type every day. Because Troy Torrance is saying, I'm going to trust the Magic on the road here. But he says maybe biased because they're cashing for me. I mean, that's a huge deal. We already talked about it on the show. But look, if it's the house's money, that's one thing. But it's not the house's money. We do this every day.
Right.
So I don't think we should ever think about it like that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Like I said, they covered 7 straight. They're the better basketball team, but it's a pick 'em. It just seemed. I mean, is it free money? We'll see. But I'm not going to pay to find out.
Paco Healy interested in Washington. What up, Paco? My guy, Paco in the
Mr.
house. All right,
Diego.
move on to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Utah Jazz 36-40, 14-24 on the road at Boston Celtics 53-24, 28-9 at home. We're at TD Garden in Boston. There's been a lot of talk about who will be in the lineup for the Boston Celtics. Let's just get one last look at the. Oh, that's a good. Let's get one last look at the standings right now. We thought that it was done. Is there any chance that they're 2 games back? Is there any chance that they can get back involved in this? They're 2 game back of the Bucks, and let's just see. Let's just look at their remaining schedule here, because the Bucks have the Suns, or sorry, the Sixers and Bucks play on Sunday, as Dutch messaged. They have Utah at home here, and then Philadelphia, Toronto, Atlanta. So I guess not. I guess no, they're not going to be able to get there, even though they won last night. All right, let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Pull it up. Sorry, what the hell? Here we go. I guess I guess nothing has been announced yet for Boston, but it must have just been announced. So 5 minutes ago, there was a 3.5-point move towards the Jazz. 12:57 p.m. So 5 minutes ago, there was a 3.5-point move towards the Jazz. From a total perspective, so someone's sitting.
So Jaylen Brown's questionable. Al Horford's questionable. Jason Tatum's questionable. Robert Williams is doubtful.
Yeah, and yeah. Oh God, you'd think when we legalize what we do that they'd be.
It's like my boy gets there last night. He gets a good number. He's thinking he bets it last night, and he bets it significantly. And now look, he's probably fucking throwing up.
There's Elio in the house. What up, Top Set? Equinimus says, "Give me Jazz 13 if you can get it.
Hey, you might want to start betting that shit now, boys."
TJ Sunstein says his bet's questionable. Fuck, I get it. All right, let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 54% of tickets and 61% of cash on the Jazz. I get that. I completely get that. And then, there we go. Then total-wise, we have 73% of tickets, 87% of cash on the over. Not entirely sure. Market's moving down. Kong's Clips moved on. Utah minus 10.5, and now it's down to 9.5. So it's moving quickly. J-Dub says, after how well the Celtics shot last night, you got to fade them tonight, right? Well, it's not even how well they shot. It's more that the injury issues, going on. Mike M says CLV doesn't mean shit in the NBA. Yeah, it's a lot has changed. But, Tatum went for 40. Jaylen Brown went for 30. They won 140-99 and got some confidence. On the other side of the thing, the Jazz are, broken. Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson, Kelly Olynyk. I'm not even going to mention Rudy Gay. They're all out. And, that's Markkanen, Clarkson, Sexton, Olynyk, the top 4 scorers on the roster. Taylor Horton Tucker been looking good. Career high 41, 6 of 11 from 3. The kid can play, man. Take it away for us here, Dutch. I mean, there's so many. I mean, it's a tricky, fucked up situation. Jazz, Celtics.
Yeah, man. The Jazz beat these boys recently in Utah, 1-point win. Heavy dogs, won outright. Who knows? I mean, not even half the players in that game are going to be playing tonight for Utah, and maybe not for Boston, the way it sounds as well. Say what you will about the Utah Jazz, but if you've been betting them on the road, you've been making money. They covered 6 straight basketball games on the road. They've actually covered 8 out of the last 11 basketball games overall. Huge number here. It's continuing to decrease. Do Boston give a fuck about this basketball game? Absolutely not. They're showing you right now that they don't already. So props to everyone who bet this last night and got the big number. Probably anything more than 7 or 8 is still good, though, I believe, with Utah tonight. Boston, however, is good in the back-to-back role. You know, they are 7-2-1 ATS last 10 against the number in back-to-back, and have covered 7 out of the last 10 basketball games. But you got Utah, you know, guys trying to play for a spot, you know, trying to play for a roster spot or a future NBA spot. The season's about over, folks. So you got guys really trying to make other teams or maybe make that team. So you know they're going to care about this basketball game. They're going to play hard. Boston just does not give a fuck. So give me Utah if I have to bet this basketball game. They've been covering games on the road and overall. So I simply believe Boston just does not care. They did what they were supposed to do last night, and they've taken it off tonight.
Yeah, so it's probably still good at this number, but do you want to sit here and get a 9.5 or a 9 when your your colleagues are getting 13 and 10.5?
Right. Exactly.
Razor.
So if you have to bet it, if you want to bet it, then I still endorse that. But I'm not doing that because you're losing 4 points, which is a fucking too much in the NBA.
Yeah. Razor Sharp Pick says the water boy for the Sixers is also questionable tonight. So a lot of issues around the association. Move on, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Atlanta Hawks 38-38, 16-22 on the road. So it's amazing that's their record this year with all the hype with the DeJounte move. Brooklyn Nets 41-35, 20-16 at home. Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Atlanta 3-2 over their past 5, playing the pace 101.20 possessions a game. Brooklyn 2-3, playing the pace 95.50 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here in this one. Here we go. I can't. I got to just get in my head. There's this guy out here. He had this in Toronto. He had this an NBA show for a while, XM Radio, and I can't. He put out a thing on social media saying that Luka could come to the Raptors. This is what we need to get Luka, and everybody's writing, "Oh yeah, I think this will work. I think we can get Luka." And I'm like, I just don't ever talk to me about sports. Just don't talk to me about sports if you think that is even a remote possibility. And I thought, I was like, man, I mentioned how much time Dutch would spend with you guys. Not a half second would he listen to your fucking bullshit, your dumb dream fucking bullshit. Atlanta opening up at +1. They're now -2. Total wise, opening up at 241, now 240.5. Let's see what the cash flow is on this one. 51% of the tickets and 95% of cash is on that under. Wow. And what? It's dropped a half point. Is that any kind of a signal? Let's see what's going on with the spread here. With the spread, we have 44% of the tickets and 54% of the cash on Brooklyn. Let's just go back to when that move happened here. So it's just been constant. It's been constant since this line came out last night, just constantly moving towards Atlanta, constantly. So it hasn't been one big thing, constant. Atlanta comes off their second win in 3 games, 120-118 at home over Cleveland on Tuesday. Hawks are a game and a half back of Miami, 2 up on the Bulls. Atlanta is 14-16 over their last 30. I mean, it's just Brooklyn comes in off their second win in 3 games, 123-114 at home versus the Rockets on Wednesday. They didn't look very good doing it. They have 6 games left and 5 are at home. And they're a game and a half ahead of Miami. Take it away for us here, Dutch. Hawks, Nets. Do you agree with the betting public that the Hawks have value?
Yeah, I got the Hawks at 1 here. I just think there's levels to this shit, man, and they're just better. They're a team. I know they got a new coach, but I still think they're a more complete team than the Brooklyn Nets are right now. Like I've said, the Brooklyn Nets have a talented roster, but they're not an NBA basketball team, man. And you can't expect anything like that when the moves that they've made mid-season like that. They've lost 7 out of 9 basketball games. They surprised me after being down first quarter, first half in Miami, and then just very shockingly second half by Miami. They ended up winning that game by 29. Outside of that, the only team they've beaten is Houston, and didn't look that good in doing that, as you mentioned, Jim. So they have not been playing very good basketball. You got Atlanta, who's obviously trying to make some adjustments under the new coach, had 2 days off to prepare for this, and coming off a nice win where Cleveland, it was a good basketball game. Cleveland continued to fight. Donovan Mitchell continued to knock down big-time shots, and Atlanta found a way to win. You win basketball games like that, I think you take a little mo. First game on the road, you have 2 days to prepare for a team that you're simply better than. I know a lot of the trends do look towards Brooklyn, but to me, man, it's Murray, it's Trae Young, Capella. Akuga off the bench coming off 21, and Akua, however the fuck you say dude's name, coming off the bench, had 21 and 9 recently. I think these two boys are going to be big time trouble with including Capella for Brooklyn. Not only they're going to get an awful lot of offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds outside of Claxton. I mean, come on, man, these boys are real small when it comes to rebounding. So Mikal will get his. I imagine, look for his prop. Shout out to our guy Razor with the threes, and I think he'll get points. But overall, it's going to be Devontae Murray, the Trae Young, and them big boys will out rebound them just too big down low. I think they get this W. I got it at 1. I think they win this basketball game quite easily. They had them when Brooklyn, not too long ago, about a couple weeks back, Brooklyn had just made the adjustments, came in to Atlanta. Atlanta was a 5-point favorite. I was on Atlanta. They were up by 17 in that game, only ended up winning that game by 2. I think they're not going to play around this time. They're not going to take their foot off the gas this time.
We can still get you the 1 right now.
Because sorry, Jim, but Deontay Hunter just got ruled out, which I expected him not to play.
There's some books that have moved this to 2. Let me just make sure it's straight up. So 9 minutes ago. Oh, I guess because of the DeAndre Hunter-ness, yeah. Okay, so we can get you that 1 at -110. Do you want to? Let's take a look. Should we look at the due diligence on the money line? Just see if we can find it cheap. Let's just do the.
Sure. I like this game. Pretty good. I don't trust Atlanta too much on the road, but just roster the way the 2 days off, Atlanta still needs to win some basketball games. New coach making adjustments against a Brooklyn team that they just haven't played enough basketball together. I like Atlanta a lot here. I think they run away with this game.
I can get you the money line at -112.
Yeah,
available.
I mean, what was the one? What was the
-110?
Good looking.
Yeah, get the money line -112. Jarek White. It was pretty wild. The Subhuman Gaucho in the house. What up, my man? It was wild. The total was had enormous amount of money on the under. 51% of the tickets and 95% of the cash. I like your look. I'm gonna roll with it, and I am not gonna mess with this on there. I mean, these teams have been playing such high scoring games, and now Brooklyn's paced at 95.50. But look, they just put up 123 points. Home versus the Rockies on Wednesday, and the Cleveland Cavs have been playing at a slow pace, and that game had 238. Jarek White is going to take the over. Okay, I feel you. But a lot of money on the under at this point, but it's only moved a half point, so it's not like the books are sitting there shaking their boots because the money's on the under. All right, let's move on. Next spot on the board, interesting one. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. New York Knicks without Julius Randle. 44-33, 22-16 on the road at the Cleveland Cavaliers. 48-29, 30-8 at home at Rocket Mortgage. New York Knicks 2-3 over their past 5, playing the pace 99 possessions a game. Cleveland 4-1, playing the pace 95.9 possessions a game. And Troy and Nunya are right there with you, on that look. So let's take a look at the line history here in this one. Knicks, Cavs, and we have the Cavs opening up as 5.5-point favorites. That's down to 3.5. So Jared Allen is not going to be there. Okoro done. So no Allen, no Okoro, and that must be part of the reason. Let's see when that moved. It's just been a constant move. So it's just been a constant move towards the Knicks. Go over to the total here. Opened up at 220.5. It's now at 221.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. Take a look at the cash flow in this one. So total-wise, 64% of the tickets and 82% of the cash is on the over. 64 and 82 on the over, and it's gone up, a point. So that is somewhat appealing. From the spread here, we have 20% of the tickets and 82% of the cash on the Knicks. That's a lot on the Knicks. LJ says under 222, easy, no Randall. Wow, a lot to break down here. Knicks coming off their second straight win, 101-92 at home versus the Heat on Wednesday. Cavs had their 4-game winning streak snapped, 120-118 loss at Atlanta on Tuesday. Take it away for us here, Dutch. Knicks, Cavs.
Yeah, man, this is something that we see an awful lot, especially on a Friday when we break down the card, Jim. I like the Cavs here, so I'm going to get a better number. The 4-0 ATS last 4 on 2 days rest, 4-1 ATS last 5 overall. and at the crib they handle business. They win by an average of 9 points per game at the house. I think Julie, obviously no JA. They've kind of had him in and out of the lineup a lot more recently than they sure would like. Kind of getting used to that. Okoro won't play. Little light on the bench, but I think overall it comes down to Garland. Mitchell will be too much, and Mobley should be able to do whatever the fuck he wants. Mitchell Robinson, he's too slow for him. Mobley way too quick for him. We'll be able to take him off the dribble. Outside of that, they really have nothing. Not to mention Jalen Brunson is still kind of coming back. Didn't look all the way right in his first game back. Probably still trying to get his legs underneath him. I think Mitchell outplays him, and I simply believe not having the juice out there, Mr. Randall, he's an awful lot to that basketball team. They finally started playing through Jalen Brunson a little bit more, like I had talked about before, but this guy is a big piece to this game, to this team. So everybody else has got to step up, play a lot more. Got to do a lot more when they're on the court because Julius has the ball, shoots an awful lot of threes, gets an awful lot of rebounds, and he has the ball in his hand an awful lot when Jalen doesn't. So I think it's going to take them a little bit of time to figure it out without Julius Randle, to be quite honest with you. So you got the Cavaliers off a loss at the crib, a tough loss to Atlanta. Excuse me. They bet on at the house, Jim. So better number. I like them here. I really do. I think they win this basketball game. Not to mention they've lost 2 straight to New York, and this is the 4th meeting this year. They beat them by 12-13 at the crib earlier this year and then lost 2 straight in New York. So they even the series out here at the crib. I like the first half, but I personally think they want to win this basketball game. So give me the full game. Best number we can get.
Best number we can get is -3, -110.
Let's get it, man. I love that shit.
-3 and -110. Harold Williams also looking at the under. Troy Torrance says Brunson points at 25.5. Says, do we take the under? Says quickly being the guy facilitating. We know Brunson likes to get in the paint where Cleveland defends. Now they don't have Allen, but what do you think of Jalen Brunson points under 25.5?
I wouldn't look to fade Brunson. He's going to have an awful lot of attempts without Julius Randle. He's going to have the ball in his hand, and Donovan Mitchell or Garland don't wow me from a defensive perspective. So Jalen Brunson should be able to get what he wants offensively. It's just a matter if he's right. He can get 30, and the Cavaliers still win this basketball game.
Dutch has spoken, man. What an interesting breakdown. And Piker loving you going up against the big bets on the Knicks, loving it, and the line move, loving it, loving the strength and conviction of your capping. 8 p.m. Eastern next up, the game everybody wants to talk about. Detroit Pistons 16-60, 7-30 on the road. At the Houston Rockets 18-59, 12-26 at home. We're at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Steve LJ still running with us here. Both teams are 0-5 over the last 5. Both teams have lost 7 straight. A lot of similarities between these two teams. Detroit playing the pace 96.4 possessions a game. Houston at 98 possessions a game. The Pistons come in off their 7th straight loss, 107-106 at OKC on Wednesday. I think it was Mike M. Mike M said in that game, he's like, you got to take the Pistons at this number. He's like, you just got to take it and just don't watch the game and just fall asleep and wake up to the cash. And he did wake up to the cash. Rockets come in off that 123-114 loss at Brooklyn on Wednesday. And, they look pretty good. I mean, Brooklyn pulled away late, but the Rockets were in that game. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We have the Rockets opening up -4.5. They're now -6.5. Jesus. From a total perspective, opened up at 229.5, dropped to 227.5. Yeah, I do think that's a little too high. And LJ is on the first half under. Namaste, Jay. Thanks for running with us. Respect. And get that cash, man. So LJ's moved on the first half under here. Copy and paste that. And then let's take a look at the cash flow for this spot here. We have 76% of the tickets and 96% of the cash on the Rockets. Market moving 2 points in their favor. 26% of tickets and 81% cash on the under. This under sounds appealing. Dutch, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Pistons, Rockets.
Yeah, man, you knew what I was going to do with this game. I have absolutely nothing for this one. But yeah, Razor, man, he's saying, yeah, I know, Razor, I know this is a Knicks spot for you all day, but I mean, I don't let that fade. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. I'm not going to let that judge. I capped this shit last night. without JA being in there, I like the Cavs, man. I'm not scared that the numbers moving that way, but I hear you.
Yeah.
This game though, yeah. Fuck 2 bum fights, man. Fuck this game, bro.
No,
Fuck this game,
I do find the under appealing. The Pistons are just playing real grimy basketball.
Yeah, they are.
Real grimy basketball. And Mike M has Detroit 7-0 against the spread in Houston. Rockets are 0-5 versus Central. And there's Kev Reed in the house. Says Dutch Reed, the only guy I know that could fit in Armani's zip up with the Braves cap. Respect. Kev Reed got to come on the chat because he's getting pumped up for tomorrow's horses, baby. You want to watch? He's a really fun thoroughbred capper to tail because he puts together multi-race wagers that cost about between like $18 and $28 and pay out $5 to $10K. So
yeah, that's lovely. That's a beautiful thing.
He's a real one. The Montana Chicken Chaser.
The Montana man.
Yeah,
he's a real one. I met him in the San Antonio. He's good people, good vibe, man.
Yeah, for real.
Gets off nice energy.
Yeah, he's money in the bank. I love him. I cherish these days when we get to hang out all day drinking cap horses. I just cherish them. 8 p.m. Eastern next up for us. Los Angeles Clippers 41-36, 20-18 on the road at the Memphis Grizzlies, 48-28, 33-6 at home. We're at FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Clip show Memphis. And these guys just met. They just met. And it was a tough spot for Memphis. And I wonder if this is this Rabenga here. But market moving towards the Clips. Clips open up plus 6.5. They're now plus 5. Let's see when that move happened. That move just happened. That move happened an hour ago. So injury report must come out. It was a 1.5 move. Immediate 1.5 move to the Clippers. So since then, it's gone 7 cents towards the Clippers since that move. So it moved to 5 at even money, and now if you want that 5, it's juiced. So something is up. Let me see if I can get any last. No, I'm not getting any. This site won't give it to me. You got to go Roto-World. I was just seeing if it might give me the information. All right, let's take a look at the total in this spot. This total opened up at 234.5. It's now at 236.5. It's gone up 2 points. And I get it. They put up 273 points on Wednesday. A 7-game winning streak snap for the Grizz. Clips got their second straight win. And that for the Grizz was the second half of a back-to-back. So now, yes, they got a break, but it's the third game in 4 nights. And we have LJ from H-Town with the Trill OG play of the day. Says, we running it back. So last Friday, I got to cap the car with my guy, LJ. I don't remember the day at all. And it sucks. It sucks that I have no recollection of what happened. I heard we had a great time. I know we made money. I won a poker
well in the poker.
Yeah. I won a poker tournament. I don't know how I don't have any recollection. I got blackout on my show.
Yeah.
I was 7 or 8 shots deep on my show without eating, and then I don't know. I do remember one thing. I remember going into the Family Dollar and seeing Loshak had shaved off his whole beard, and he'd left the greatest stash. And I couldn't believe he'd gone and done that. It made me laugh so hard. That's the only thing I remember from the whole day. I also remember the poker table, the poker team, they left.
Yeah.
And so I went to get a table like I do every year, right? I go in and I'm negotiating for the table, and I'm like, fuck it, that's too much money. And I walk away, and I'm just waiting for him to call me back, but he's not calling me back. And I'm like, oh, God damn it. It's not working. It's just not working. Fine, fuck it. I'll pay the money. Pay what you want me to pay.
Yeah, that's dope though. You did a lot of winning in San Antonio.
It was great.
Good,
Because the bills are so different in the States. My wallet was like joke size. Like it was like Costanza's wallet. There was a lot of 1s and 5s and 10s in there as well. But it was like it looked like a prop. Just looked like it was sticking out of my pot, like it was sticking out of my pants. Like Sonny couldn't stop laughing at it. Like I had this huge bulge in my pants. Also, I don't know. I know we're going along here, and I hate to keep you Dutch, but this happened to me. This has never happened to me in my life. At the airport, we're lit, they put my bag aside, and then the woman goes in my bag and she pulls this thing out, and she goes, "What's this?" It was this white circular thing, and I was like, "I have no idea." And she's like, "What?" I was like, "I don't know what that is." And she goes, "Did you pack your own luggage?" Right? And I'm like, "Oh no, like there's gonna be a problem, right? You gotta say right there." I was like, "Yeah, I packed my luggage." She goes, "Well, what is it?" I was like, "I don't have a fucking idea what that is." So they had to call people over and like do all these swabs on it and
Right.
shit. And
What the fuck was it?
it was some sort of a light, like I don't even know what it was. I don't know what it was. Like some sort of a, I don't know what it was.
The fuck?
I don't know. But it was like, it took 30 minutes because they were like,
Fucked with you, huh?
okay. Let's take a look at the line history here. We did that. No, we didn't. Oh, we did. Did we take a look at the cash? Sorry. Let's take a look at the cash flow here on this one here. Sorry, I can hear sorry guys. I telling stories about, like, it was like one of my funnest weekends of my life. So obviously I'm a little thinking about it.
Yeah, man.
51% of the tickets, 95% of the cash on the under. 51 and 95 on the under. And didn't we say that it had gone up? 51 and 95 on the under, and it had gone up, right? Why would it? So the books have no fear about anybody betting the under in this spot. It's gone from 234.5 to 236. And then sidewise, we have 73% of the tickets and 81% of cash on the Grizzlies. So why did it move? Was there injury information that just
Kawhi went through shoot around, so I'm sure he's going to play.
Sorry, my son was crying. What was it?
Yeah, you're good. Kawhi went through shoot around, so I believe he's going to play today.
Okay, that was it. Okay, it was Kawhi. All right, take it away for us here, Dutch. Clippers, Grizzlies.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Ray Charles, man. Hopefully you enjoyed the night. And here is your birthday pick from your boy. It's definitely the Memphis Grizzlies, and we're getting a better number now too. It's grind motherfucking city, man. It comes down to you went into Memphis and you talk shit, man. Hey, and Russ, you did your thing, but you talk shit and you celebrated after that game like you done won a motherfucking playoff basketball game in Memphis. So those boys, they're gonna take that a little serious. We know how Memphis is. Not to mention, half the motherfucking squad didn't play the other day. They will be all back tonight. Most importantly, Bane and Tyus Jones is going to be in the lineup. Jaren Jackson should be back. Look for the Clippers. I think the Clippers get smacked the fuck around tonight. They're 2-5 ATS last 7 versus a winning team. 1-4 ATS last 5 in Memphis. And the Grizzlies, man, it's been Grind City handle business at the house. They're bet on basketball team at the crib. They win by an average 11 points per game at the crib. And the 35 and 17 against the number the last 52 at the house versus a winning road basketball team. I simply believe the shit talking, the way Russ kind of was doing it. Man, you ain't gonna do that 2 times in Memphis. That's just the way it is. So definitely Grind City full game here. I'm not mad at anything. I think it's Smack City really first quarter, first half, but full game. The numbers even better. Memphis will smack these boys around.
And Friday nights. I mean, the last one was a big Friday with Ja back. We were like, oh, they're gonna ball out in front of their home crowd. And last Friday we had LJ give us first quarter, first half, full game, and they won 151, 114 or some shit.
Yeah, I think they're gonna run these boys out the gym. I like that. I like the same damn thing. He said he's gonna run it back. I like it, LJ. I don't know if he's doing all that. He's definitely running back that first half, but yeah, I like it a lot here. I think they come out firing on all cylinders from start to finish. But I do think the full game with the numbers that is very solid.
-5 at -104, which
right.
means
go ahead.
We should do our due diligence and just see what the. Oh, it's because the injury report's out. God, that's so funny, this book.
Poker says 6.5 down to 5. Yeah, man, that's because Kawhi's gonna play today. So we'll see. Is Russ gonna do what he did last game? But yeah, I just think this game just off the principle alone is Memphis.
Wow. So at this point, right this second, we got you that -5, -104, but with all the news coming in and the markets moving, Pinnacle's pulled the whole NBA card. The whole NBA card's locked right now. On their website. Okay.
It's fucking insane, man. Good
It's
thing
not-
y'all got baseball. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little more excited about the MLB this year too. Watched a lot of it yesterday. I'll be, looking to take advantage of the MLB this summer.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And it'll be, you should be put, because soon you'll have the Vegas Athletics.
Yeah, soon.
That'd be
But
fun.
you did well. You had a great year last year in the MLB. Fucking around with Dabby Cab an awful lot. He's obviously a baseball dude. So I don't know, something about this year. I just, I've been kind of locked in a little bit more and definitely looking to profit. And yeah, man, last year was a good year. Learning an awful lot here, not only from the chat, but obviously the way you break down the MLB each and every game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's fun. I love it. We've got such a great group. Brandon Cummings in the house. OG Lowbagger. What up, Brandon? My guy. Great to see you in the chat, man. Great to see you. All right, let's move on to our big showcase game tonight. This is our live bet stream game starring razor sharp picks and the Magic Man, Dabra Kadabra. Los Angeles Lakers 38-38, 17-20 on the road at the Minnesota Timberwolves 39-38, 21-17 at home. We're at Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Both teams 4-1 over their past 5. Lakers playing the pace 98.20 possessions a game, and the Wolves playing the pace at 100.30 possessions a game. This is really, really fun. They just made a big trade. And there are a bunch of injury issues on each side, but Ant Edwards, Kyle Anderson, they're sick, but they're probable. Cat is probable with his calf injury, but Naz Reid is out for Minnesota. For the Lake Show, AD is probable, and LBJ is questionable. That's the situation there. And D'Angelo Russell is probable. So I knew that injuries could derail this basketball game tonight, but I'm expecting it to be extremely fun game for you guys all of us to live bet. So this is our live bet stream. Joe Yurkovich says Nas being out is a big deal. Let's take a look at the line history here for the Lake Show against the Wolves. The reason why the Lakers are called the Lakers because of the great city, the great state. I almost screwed that up. I'm not that ignorant. The great state. Let's go Minnesota. Let's take a look here. Minnesota opening up -1.5. Now at +1. -1.5 now at +1. Total wise, opening up at 232.5, still at 232.5. LJ says Wolves 9-2 against the spread. First half, last 11. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. We have 52%. Oh, well, let me put it a different way. 48% of the tickets and 74% of the cash is on the Timberwolves. From a total perspective, you have 51% of tickets, 53% of cash on the under. So no help there, but there seems to be sharp money on the Wolves. Mike M says Lake Show 0-8 against spread after a road win. And they'll just said 9-2 against spread for the Wolves at home in their last 11 games. So let's just take one last look at that line movement once more. So, and we'll probably get a better example with the money line rather than the spread there. And it's not big. The Lakers have gone from -101 to -111, but the big bets are coming in on the Timberwolves. The Lakers got their 5-game road trip started with their 4th win in 5 games, 121-110 at the Bulls on Wednesday night. And Minnesota, and they look good. Or the Bulls look bad. Minnesota had their 4-game losing streak snapped in a 107-100 loss. The 4-game winning streak snapped. Wrote that wrong. 4-game winning streak snapped in a 107-100 loss at Phoenix on Wednesday. This is a big game for us at Pub Sports Radio, Dutch. We are all ears. We're going to be live betting it, so take it away.
Yeah, man, this is a tough basketball game. It's a good one, I think, to watch. Absolutely good pick from you guys to vibe out on. I think you can make a very strong case for both sides, to be quite honest with you. Naz Reid, as said in the chat, very, very underrated dude. I think, losing him is going to be big, but obviously having Anthony Towns back will maybe not, lighten that blow a little bit. But I'm a Nas Reed fan, to be quite honest with you. I think he's got a solid game. The Wolves, I wanted to bet the Lakers here, to be quite honest with you. Looking at the Wolves, despite they've been more of a bet on team on the road, they seem to up their game a little bit on the road. They're 1-5 ATS last 6 at home. And against, even against losing teams, 0-4 ATS last 4 at the crib versus losing teams. However, they play the Lakers very well. They've covered in 6 straight basketball games, won 5 out of the last 6 meetings versus these boys. But the Lakers, as you mentioned, they look good in Chicago. They've been playing a little bit better basketball. They're 7-3 ATS against the number last 10. Playing up to the competition a little bit as well. Covered 5 out of the last 7 basketball games versus winning basketball teams. I want to say LBJ and AD. Come on, man. They going to Minnesota to get this W, right? D'Angelo going against his old boys. But I don't know if it's going to be that easy, to be quite honest with you. And I think a lot of people, average Joes, are going to the window bet in LA here. Kind of like the thing to do now. I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota pulls this game out at the crib. Conley seems to be a nice little fit in there, allowing Anthony Edwards to kind of be the guy. And then got Big Cat coming back. You don't know really what you're going to get out of him. You could get 30 or you could get 15 from him. And the same thing with Rudy Gobert. So if you're betting on the Lakers, you're betting on them to not have a big basketball game. And you think AD and LBJ will carry the way. I tend to think Rudy Gobert and Anthony Towns could be a little bit of an issue down low for AD and kind of a lackluster size for the Lakers. So they've covered in 6 straight. I think they might cover tonight, win this basketball game. Very tough basketball game, Jim. I think can make a side argument for both sides. We know the Lakers need to win, but Minnesota wants to win as well. And they had won 4 straight coming off a loss where they played very well in Phoenix. I had them plus 5.5. They lose that game by 7. They covered first quarter and first half in that basketball game. A very tough game at the end. Should have covered, I believe, full game. So they didn't. They played very well in Phoenix. I think Minnesota might be the play here, Jim. I'm not going to bet this basketball game. I will tune in tonight live because I do believe these games are games of runs. That's what the NBA is. So you should be able to get extreme value, not only on Minnesota here, but on the Lakers as well, watching this game live.
I realized that a couple things with the breakdown, a great breakdown, but I realized one, that I shouldn't have been looking at the spread anyways. I should have been looking at the money line, and that gives you an even better idea of what's going on here. So 80% of tickets are on the Lakers, 80, and 25% of the cash. So that's wild. So big bets on the Wolves. Would you say at this point that the books will find some concern about the amount of money that's on the Wolves and start moving the line back towards the Wolves? Or do you think that LBJ gets announced in, money keeps coming in on the Lakers, and we get an even better line on the Wolves if we are patient?
Yeah, I honestly agree with the second one. I feel the second one. The first one might make more sense, but the second one is what I believe will happen. I think LBJ gets announced in, Nas Reed being out, all that Lakers will keep coming, and Lakers are going to be -1 here.
And the total, there's no help from there might be. We could go back to the what the books are doing with the total, but there's no help with the cash flow. There's nothing. So that total is at 232.5. It's not moving. It's 50-50 cash and tickets basically. So in that case, it'll probably be really tight to that number. So then in that case, you can see if it's a real low scoring start, you might want to look at the over. If it's a really high scoring start, you might want to look at the under, because that looks like a real tight number at 232.5 for all of you guys line shopping live betting here with us at Pub Sports Radio. And old Rudy Wuhan Gobert being showcased tonight. Old Wuhan. All right, let's move on. I'm going to wait. I like your look on the Wolves, but I'm going to wait. I think we can get a better line here.
I agree.
Mike M, though, is touching on it. And he says, risk reward. I don't think LBJ getting announced out makes a difference, but a point. He's going to get announced in, right?
Yeah, he's playing.
If the T-Wolves win by more than 1 anyways, but if LBJ gets announced in, you get 2 or 3 points for the T-Wolves.
Not that many, Mike. Not that many, man. Not that many, but I get what you're saying. But
yeah,
he's playing this basketball game. Once he gets announced in, I believe the Lakers will be 1-1.5.
And LJ saying Wolves best ATS spread or ATS team in first quarter right now at 9-2. So
yeah,
maybe
and if you like the Lakers, the Lakers, they could get down too. So I mean, I just think this game's probably bet to sit back and watch a little bit. But yeah, I mean, our guy LJ is giving us some good numbers to Minnesota early.
And Mike M says, I don't think it makes sense to take the Wolves now. Get the better number. No, I get it, Mike. I got a little. No, you did that fine. I called it out wrong. All right, let's move on. We got 3 games left on the card before we put a bow on this show. 10 p.m. Eastern. San Antonio Spurs 19-57, 6-31 on the road. And Coin looking at T-Wolves trifecta. Golden State Warriors 40-37, 31-8 at home. We're at Chase Center in San Francisco, California. Spurs have lost 5 straight. They're playing at a fast pace though. They're not a very efficient basketball team, but they're playing at a fast pace. 105 possessions a game. Warriors are 4-1 over the past 5, playing at a pace of 100.4 possessions a game. The Warriors come in off their 4th win in 5 games, 120-109 at home over the Pelicans on Tuesday. And, this is not for the weak of heart what we do. Because we were all like, it feels like after that poor game by Curry, he was like 8 of 28 over his last few games by 3. We're like, he could go off here. He could just make it 30. And the Pelicans were in control that whole game. Not whole game, but at least, for a huge chunk of the game. And then Curry just took over and the Warriors covered comfortably. It's pretty wild watching Steph play. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. This one opened up with pull up. The Warriors are -16. They're now -18.
Good fucking Lord.
This total opened up at 239. It's now 241.5. Let's see if the cash is following suit here on this one. We have, for the total, 32% of tickets and 61% cash on the over, and the books are respecting that over money. For the spread, 74, and you could probably predict this if the market's moving at such a big number, still moving in the Warriors' direction. 74% tickets, 84% cash on the Warriors. That's wild. And then for the Spurs, no Zach Collins, no Shohan. So the only the question guys are Langford and Vassell. And they're, of course, coming off that loss at home, 128-117 to the Jazz on Wednesday. And Mike M says you got to wait for the Warriors to be down and grab a single-digit Warriors spot. And LJ from H-Town on Spurs, Warriors first quarter over 62. And Mike M says stat of the day, twice this season the team was a double-digit dog, up 15 at the halftime and lost the game by the number at the end, both against the Warriors. Coin says Golden State on the verge of hitting a playoff switch, the most beautiful thing in sports. Markel laughing says, y'all go ahead and bet them Spurs. I don't see anyone saying that, Markel. I don't think you need to laugh at us here, man. But respect. And the floor is yours, Dutch. Take it away, Spurs Warriors.
Oh man, hey, I have nothing for this one, Jim. I mean, ain't no way I'm laying this many points with the Golden State Warriors. I'll tell you that right now. You want to bet San Antonio? I agree with Mike though. If you if we're I think Spurs come out. They gonna cover first quarter, first half, and you get a better number on the Warriors eventually. Simply what's going to happen in this basketball game. I didn't look at it. I could just tell you that's what's going to happen. The Warriors know at any time that our boy talking about flipping the switch. They can flip the switch anytime in this basketball game and go on a 15-0 run. So I'm not betting this basketball game whatsoever. I do think San Antonio is the look early. As simple as that. You want to live bet it, get the Warriors at a better number. Shout out to my guy, Moneyline Mills. I see you, my dude. But yeah, the Warriors. Spurs don't want to win this basketball game. The Warriors know that they can win at any time. Too many points. Live bet game. Or you go to the window with San Antonio early.
Yeah, I get it. And LJ on the first quarter over 62 because the Warriors team total in the first quarter is 34.5.
Yeah.
That's just nuts.
That's crazy.
Absolutely nuts. All right, let's move on. 2 games left for us here. Next up, 10 p.m. Eastern, Sacramento Kings 46-30, 23-14 on the road at the Portland Trailblazers. What a disgrace. What a disgrace to a great city. Awful. Dame, Simons, Jeremy Grant, all just taking off early for the year. The Kings 3-2 over the past 5, playing pace 98.30 possessions a game. Portland 1-4, playing pace 101.40 possessions a game. They just met on Wednesday, and LJ had a great bet that he gave us on the first half under. Against the Kings, whose pace has slowed down pretty legitimately, down 98.3 possessions a game. But the Blazers put on 80 points. 80 points is what they did. Put up 80 points. Kings have won 3 of 4. Blazers lost 4 straight. Let's take a look at the line history in this spot. 80 points they put up in that game. The Kings just decided when they were going to put the medal down, and they just took over. This opened up with the Kings up minus 15. They're now minus 14. Totals wise, this opened up at 231, and it has not moved. I don't want to go right back to the well, but I get the well. But 61% of the tickets, 58% cash on the over. Oh no, sorry, shit, that's my bad. I was so fixated on that's the spread. 61% of the tickets, 58% of the cash is on the Kings, but it's moving against them by a point. And total wise here, we have. Here we go. We have 37% of tickets, 74% cash on the under. But the market's not moving. I wish the market would show us something. A little Domo in the house. What up, little Domo? Take it away for us here, Dutch Kings Blazers.
Yeah, man. I like that look from our guy, Andrew G. Mr. Sharp, Shane Sharp, been playing out of his fucking mind, man. He he could throw that shit down, but he's getting run now. He's a talented young kid. I like him a lot. But yeah, I don't like anything going on in Portland. Markel says Blazers going to fuck around and win this game. And you know what? In today's NBA, I wouldn't put it past you. Lose by 40 points. You get the same team at the crib. I mean, if they have any heart, you're going to see it tonight. So I think De'Aaron Fox is out of this basketball game. Another basketball game I really give absolutely no fuck about. But I do think if you're betting it, you want something to bet in this basketball game, it's the Portland Trailblazers, man. They got punked 40 fucking piece, 120-80 at the crib. You get the same team hanging around. They did nothing. Sacramento did absolutely nothing but smoke weed and go to the strip club for 24 hours. So now you get them in there. They don't give a fuck about this basketball game. Will they win it? Probably at some point. But 15, man, I think the Blazers it's got to be the look, to be quite honest with you. It's all about, do you have any heart whatsoever? Is Chauncey got to be having these boys at least ready to play, at least ready to, lock in a little bit on the defense. And obviously, De'Aaron Fox is going to help for them a little bit in that aspect.
I don't have De'Aaron Fox on my injury report.
I mean, I swear I seen that Mike Brown said that De'Aaron Fox wasn't going to play tonight, but maybe I'm tripping. It wasn't even on a thing. It was something I was reading this morning on Twitter when I was doing cardio. But maybe that was did he play? He did play the last game, right?
Let me pull it up. Oh yeah, I thought he was there. I was just paying attention to capping.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I seen him in a meeting or in a little interview this Mike Brown talking about how De'Aaron Fox isn't going to play tonight. But maybe I was just tripping. But I don't see anything on my Sacramento Kings thing either. So we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But with or without De'Aaron Fox, it has to be a Portland Trailblazers spot. It fucking has to be. You lose by 40 points to the same basketball team. Sacramento's in cruise control. They in the slow lane, not giving a fuck about this game. Just thinking, okay, we're going to win eventually.
Yeah, I mean, the first quarter plus 4.5.
Yeah, it's a lot of points.
The first half plus 8. I mean,
I like that 4.5.
Yeah, I don't think I could double up. I think
it's just hard for me to do it, Jim. Like big card, but
yeah. Okay, and Joe said they went 30 of 93 from the field. All right, let's move on to the final spot on the board here, and the final spot on our card. We have Nikola Jokic listed as out, but I mean that listed as sideline, but that's not updated. So, we expect him probably to play here, but let's see what the market says. I mean, is he going to sit out this one too? Maybe he sits out this one too. I mean, the market's telling us he's out. He's listed as sidelined. So, I mean, the Suns aren't going to be 10-point favorites if Jokic is in the lineup. So he's definitely out, right? Open up -8, now -10. We thought he was just taking the first half of a back-to-back off, but this total opened up at 229. It's now at 226.5. It got down to 226. But this has just been a slow move down. This wasn't a big move down. Dan Kelly, perfect time. Well, not perfect time. We would have liked to for the whole card, but nice to have you here. Nuggets, Suns, Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Denver 4-1 over the past 5, playing the pace 95.2 possessions a game. Phoenix 3-2, 97.9 possessions a game. Those numbers I shouldn't even mention because with KD being back for Phoenix and Jokic being out, I mean, it just drastically changes everything. Let's take a look at the line movement here for our final game on the. Oh, I just did that. Sorry. Let's take a look at the cash flow, and then hear what Dutch has to say. Total wise, 70% of tickets, 87% cash is on the over. Makes no sense because we've seen it just drop consistently and totally. And then cash wise, you have 62% of the tickets and 74% cash on the Suns, and the market is moving towards them. Take it away. Oh, Nuggets on the second half, back-to-back, having their 4-game winning streak snapped in a 107-88 loss at home to New Orleans on Thursday. And the Suns coming up their third straight win, 107-100, a win at home over Minnesota on Wednesday. Take it away for us here, Dutch. Nuggets, Suns. Final game on the board.
Yeah, man, it's a clear Nugget spot here. I don't know if we can make anything official, though. My numbers getting a little carried away here. But, yeah, I definitely like the Suns here. I think the Suns smack them around after getting smacked by 29 most recently. They lost both meetings this year to to Denver. And most recently, they lost by 29 points. So, you have KD, who wasn't, they won in Minnesota. Wasn't very impressive, at home versus Minnesota. It wasn't very impressive, as I touched on. KD didn't have that good of a game. It was kind of a little bit, hard on himself. Just didn't look in KD form as we would see. I expect him to be lights the fuck out tonight. Our guy Ray Charles, liking Booker. We touched on it on the NBA Pub Hub. It frees up Devin Booker. I mean, this kid is real nice. I think he might be a little underrated in a lot of people's eyes. He's got his mid-range game. It is like no other. Devin Booker is a lethal offensive weapon, and when you have KD out there, it just frees him up to pretty much get what he wants. So I like that look by guy Ray Charles. CP3 going to control the shit, man. But yeah, if you're getting Denver at Jamal Murray's out, I mean, you're getting a B squad. They played last night, and you're losing Joker, who we touched on it yesterday on NBA Pub Hub. This is like their point guard, man. I don't think Jamal Murray's a point guard, and then you take him off now, especially with Joker leaving. I mean, there's really nobody to distribute the basketball to kind of, get everyone else involved. That's what the Denver Nuggets are lacking, in my opinion. And, of course, without Joker, that's even going to become even more of an issue. So look for the assist to be very low on Denver's side. Look for them to get run the fuck out of the gym. I see our guy Piker liking that 9.5. I believe it is good money. The Suns, man, they're gonna put it on these boys. Strictly just due to the way they got smacked around in Denver. The Nuggets are 2-5 ATS last 7 meetings overall, 0-4 ATS last 4 against the number, and 4-1 ATS last. They're 4-1 ATS last 5 versus a winning team greater than 60%. The Suns are, so they play up to the competition. I look for the Nuggets to get ran out of the gym simply with no Joker, no Murray. I mean, we're going to see. I think Caldwell Pope is questionable in this game as well. I mean, we're going to see a lot of Bruce Brown, I guess, pretty much. So, yeah, I like the Suns here an awful lot.
Line shop for you?
Yeah, let's see what we can get.
All right, let's do it right now.
I like Piker with the 9.5 and his stats to back it up. No, I feel like I shouldn't really be scared because I do think the Suns win this game by 15 easy.
All right, let's get over to. All right, it's back up here, so we can get you the 9.5 at -113, but every other book's moved to 10.
Ooh, bad juice too, and a 1.5. Nah, I gave it enough out today, Jim. I got the 8, so I'm gonna chill.
Cool, and good work getting the 8.
Yeah.
All right, let's review all action. What a superlative job you did, Dutch. 13 games on the card, and you crushed it. Let's review all action here. Bulls, Hornets stay off. Thunder, Pacers stay off. Dutch is on the Raptors first quarter +2 and full game +5.5. And I'm interested in the Raptors early as well. Very interested. Nunya, by the way, is on the under triple up. First quarter, first half, full game. Magic, Wizards, we have no action. Jazz, Celtics, we stayed off. Dutch is on the Hawks money line at -112. Yeah, Terrell, I'll review that. But Dutch has been here for a long time, so let's let him roll here. Cavs -3 for Dutch at -110. LJ from H-Town is on the first half under 117 in Detroit, Houston. Dutch is on the Grizzlies -5 at -104. LJ's Trill OG play today is Memphis first half -3.5. I like both those looks a lot. I want to wait on the Wolves. Wait patiently on the Wolves is what I want to do. Spurs, Warriors, we stayed off. I mean, the Warriors have no reason to come out like crazy here. I almost feel like, God, I hate these. Why do these dogs first quarter appeal to me so much? But I have some interest in the Spurs first quarter. I'm gonna look at it a little more. I like the Blazers first quarter, and I like them first half too, but I don't want to double up. But then Joe Yurkovich is like, he likes them. He got 8.5 on the first half. And then LJ is on the Suns -9.5. And Dutch got it at 8. So he's, it doesn't need to be an official pick. He can just put that in his pocket. There we go. Dutch, spectacular work. Thank you for putting all that, all the time it must have been to cap the card as intensely as you did. So thank you for putting all that hustle in for us. It means the world. So thank you. Follow Dutch on Twitter at DutchBoyFresh. And go have yourself a great, great weekend, my friend. And thank you for all your hard work. You have any last words for the Capper supporting the show?
Yeah, I appreciate it, Jim. Fresh Friday. It was a big one, a 13 motherfucking piece. So be sure, everyone who vibed out with us, show some love. Hit the motherfucking like button. Share the video. Do the damn thing. Yes, right, our boy Fat Wally. No ramen. We eat filet. Double up on the motherfucking carbs and the veggies too. Fuck it. But yeah, man, appreciate the time, Jim. Everybody in the chat. Y'all stay fresh, man.
Respect. There he is, Dutch Boy Fresh. Let's do a review of all action. We won't do NBA again. Bobano's on the Sabres at +125. Very curious to see what that line is now. +130. I think I'm right about that. I think we can just wait. I think we can wait. And I'm going to wait. I think I get a little bit better. Every dollar counts, man. So I'm going to wait on the Sabres here, and I like them. And I'm on the Jets -1.5, +110, all alone on that shit. That -1.5 down to +100. Jets are up to -270. That was my birthday pick for our guy, Ray Charles. A Real Deal Prime Channing Levi. Dan Kelly's son's going to the game tonight. It's a fun game. It's a really fun game. Dan, I think you were – I'm not sure if you were there when we broke it down off the top, but I just have a thing for these goalies that are under 6 feet tall, 6 or under, because I play hockey. I don't, not one scout gave a fuck about him, looked at him, nothing. And he's a 7th round pick, but he's probably got the skills. If he was 6'6", he'd be a 1st round pick. 2nd highest save percentage in the history of NCAA hockey in his first year at Northeastern. And it wasn't quite as good in the second year, but it's still spectacular numbers. 10 shutouts he had in that first year. He had 10 shutouts in 32 games. I mean, shit. Then I'm on the Jets -1.5 +110. Not one person agreed with me. All shitting on this pick. We'll see. Canucks +120 for Bobano and the draw at +360. Bobano's on the Coyotes +205 and the draw +390. He's also on the over 5.5 at -130. And let's just see here with it's up to 210. So, because I was thinking, if I was Dallas and I was going to possibly have to play the Avalanche in the first round, I might think about using Ottinger here and putting Matthew Murray in against them. Not I would debate it with everybody with the brain trust. Oh, it's cool, Dan. It's so cool. Man. It's a great story. And I watched some interviews with the kid. He's like, He's really likable. And this Sabres team needs a spark. So he's really likable. Okay, so that is the NHL card. And then in baseball, Jose Bouquet, play of the day, Marlins first 5 -107. I'm on the first 5 under 4 at -115. Then Bobano's on the Astros first 5 -0.5 at +100. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is Houston -1 at -101. Bobano's on the over 7.5 in Colorado, San Diego. I'm not moving on the Diamondbacks. I thought about, look, I like Merle Kelly, but Bobano's on Dustin May over 5.5 Ks at -108. I am on the Mariners first 5 -0.5 -110. Big Ragu went 3-0 in the chat yesterday, and I accidentally texted him 10-minute warning. I meant to text Dutch, so he jumped in right away. He gave us his action. He's on Lynn over 5.5 Ks at -120. He's on the Dodgers Diamondbacks under 6.5 at +180. That makes me think, obviously he thinks Merle Kelly's going to be able to throw here. He's on Arizona team total under 3 at -104, so he really thinks Dustin May is going to throw. And then Seattle -1.5 at +134. There we go. Darren Turner says you like Mariners full game. I do, but I just need more time with the bullpens. And that's just the case. I am expecting Hunter Gaddis not to be as good as Robbie Ray. So if I have an advantage there, and I know but I may not. Look, Hunter Gaddis is a big kid, but we'll see. And that is our show. And that also means that I can focus all my time on horses now, baby. All my time. How many tracks? Last show I had the most tracks capped I had, because it takes me a long time. I had 5 tracks capped, but I was already a track and a half in Thursday night with MLB starting. The timing is bad. The amount of capping we've done, like including San Antonio, including like the last, and baseball starting up, and then now the horse show. I mean, Jesus. Thank God we love this shit, because this is a lot of hard work, but it's so much fun, and it's because of you guys. You guys make it so much fun. Bo Jackson says fade the Blue Jays tomorrow. That's his team. You know what Pete Loshak thinks when a man who loves his team says fade him. And Mike M says, don't forget that beauty out there in Vancouver. Terrific animal strapped up for the weekend. Fraser Downs. Fraser Downs is not Vancouver, man. That shit's not in Vancouver. That's not Vancouver. We have a horse track in Vancouver called Hastings Racetrack. I had to figure out what the fuck you were talking about. Don't forget that beauty out there in Vancouver. Terrific animals strapped up for the weekend. It's like, what the fuck is he talking about? And I realized, he's talking about Fraser Downs because he's sick. But I love the sickness he has, because I got it too. Sorry, Fergie. I got the sickness too, man. And the sickness, keeps me capping at 3 a.m, gets me up at 6:30. Talk sports with JT, New York, Miami, first 5 under 3.5. Is it 3.5 now? Tell me it's a 3.5 now. I said that on radio this morning. Come on, tell me it's a 3.5 now. I don't know if it is. I still got the 4 at -115. Probably got plus money on that, JT, and I respect that. He's on Chicago White Sox, Houston, no run first inning. Colorado, San Diego, yes run first inning. Nunez on Hawks, Magic, Thunder vs. Pacers under 240 at +568. Thank you guys. Real Deal Prime, JT, Mike M, Nuke Worker. Thank you, Nuke. I love to spend the day with you capping horses, man. I enjoyed it immensely. Hopefully I don't go down a K. That was not fun. I won't look at from 4 to 5 o'clock. I don't go back and watch, so I don't like watching me. But I must have been horrific. I remember because Sharpie came on the show just to build up the energy. I was so despondent. I just lost and lost and lost and lost and lost. And I put my action in the chat, and that makes me feel so bad because I don't want people tailing my losing. But then, quick 900 in the last 30 minutes felt good. So, Mo Harris, Dan Kelly, Andrew G, Harold Williams, Billy Friedrich, Ray Charles. Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. Thank you for starting the day with us, and I hope you get paid out, my man. Tell me you didn't just say that. Terrell Riley, Mo Harris, LJ from H-Town, Leonard Porsche Jr., DX Filer. Thank you, guys. Joe Yurkovich, Piker, Leonard Porsche Jr., Darren Turner. Thank you, guys. You guys have a great, great weekend. Get that fucking cash, man. Fatter pockets. Let's improve our lives. We put a lot of work into this. We should reap the benefits. Thank you for your support. It means so much to me. I enjoy this immensely. Thank you to my producer, Jose Bouquet. Jose, you do a spectacular job, and I'm very excited. We're all excited to see you rock baseball season this year. And now, without further ado, got to check out. We got shows popping off 3:10 p.m. We got Balking Dead at 4 p.m. NBA Pub Hub at 5 p.m. Say Hey Plays, and then at 7:45 p.m. the live bet stream here at Pub Sports Radio. And tomorrow morning, and don't forget our national championship show, live show, 8 p.m. We're gonna start an hour 20 minutes early. We're gonna do what we did in the Super Bowl. I'm gonna have one guest come in at a time, give them the looks, and then the last 4 guests are gonna be your hosts. And thank you. Dan, I hope your son has a great time. That's a great arena. I love that arena. So I hope he has a great time in the game tonight. Let's get that fucking money. Jarek, real deal. I love you guys. Thank you for your support. Saturated. I'll copy and paste that here in a second. Most importantly, get that cash. Get that fucking cash. Milk that shit. Leche. Hey, Los Bookmakers, milk that shit.